beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6 o'clock. I'm Jane Killick. The headlines. Dunstable man feeling ignored over nuisance off-road bikes. Police investigation over unexplained death in Buckinghamshire and jail for High Wycombe arsonist.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A man says his partner has made over 100 calls to the police about nuisance off-road bikes and car racing in Dunstable since October, but the situation has barely improved. Kelvin Allen has contacted this programme. As the problem's been going on for so long, he doesn't know what else to do. Matt Lockwood reports.
Kelvin Allen says the noise from the off-road bikes and car racing keeps him and other residents awake at night. He's worried that someone could be knocked down and feels that Bedfordshire Police could be doing more. His partner has stopped logging her calls to the police recently because she feels ignored. We tried to contact Bedfordshire Police yesterday, but were told to call back today.
Police in Buckinghamshire are investigating the unexplained death of a 17-year-old boy. Toby Fairclough suffered what police say was a medical condition in playing fields in North Marsden on Saturday lunchtime. He was taken to hospital but died. A second 17-year-old boy from Buckingham has been arrested on suspicion of supplying a controlled drug and released on police bail. David Cameron has held 3 hours of talks with the European Commission President, Jean-Claude Juncker, at the start of a round of intensive diplomacy aimed at renegotiating Britain's membership of the EU. Here's our political correspondent, Ross Hawkins.
Downing Street said David Cameron told Jean-Claude Juncker that the British people believe the EU needed to change and that Mr Juncker said he wanted to find a fair deal for the UK. Mr Cameron, who campaigned unsuccessfully against Mr Juncker's election as the President of the European Commission, now seeks allies in the EU. He intends to talk to every one of his 27 fellow EU leaders before the European Council in June.
The number of prepayment gas and electricity meters being forcibly installed in people's homes has risen significantly over the past 6 years. Almost 100,000 were fitted under court warrant last year, usually when people had got into debt with their energy supplier, compared to 63,500 in 2009. A man's been jailed for more than 9 years for starting fires in High Wycombe. 29-year-old Richard Thomas pleaded guilty to 2 counts of arson. More from Louise Parry.
Late one evening in February, Thomas opened the window of a flat in West Wycombe Road and set the curtains alight. The fire was put out, but the following day, Thomas returned and used the lighter to start another fire. 5 men were evacuated and treated for minor burns and smoke inhalation. Thomas, who's from West Wycombe Road, was sentenced to 9 years and 3 months in prison.
The National Trust has bought a stretch of coastline in North Wales for more than £1 million. The land on the Great Orme near Llandudno is the site of the world's biggest prehistoric mine, dating back 4,000 years to the Bronze Age. The weather, dry today with a mix of cloud and pleasant sunny spells and a high of 18 Celsius. And get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
When morning comes to Morgantown, the merchants roll their awnings down. The milk trucks make their morning rounds in morning Morgantown. We'll rise up early with the sun to ride the bus while everyone is yawning and the day is young. In morning Morgantown. Morning Morgantown, buy your dreams $1 down. Morning any town you name, morning's just the same. We'll find a table in the shade and sip our tea and lemonade and watch the morning on parade in morning Morgantown. Ladies in their rainbow fashions, coloured stop and go lights flashing, will wink at total strangers passing in morning Morgantown. and still to live in morning Morgantown. Born in Morgantown, by your dreams a dollar down. Born in any town you name, morning's just the same. Morning, just the same.
When your heart is black and broken and you need a helping hand, when you're so much in love you don't know just how much you can stand, when your questions go unanswered and the silence is killing you. Take my hand, baby, I'm your man. I got love enough for two. Tell the story love song. I built this thing for you. It can take you higher than Twin Peak Mountain. Oh well, I built this thing for you, and I love you true. There's no surefire set solutions, no shortcut through the trees, no reaching the wall that they put there to keep you from me. As you lie awake in this darkness, this everlasting night, someday soon, don't know where or when, you're gonna wake up and see the light. Tell the story love song. I built this thing for you. It can take you higher than Twin Peak Mountain. Oh well, I built this thing for you, and I love you true.
Is it about a gap year?
Erotic party operations.
Drugs, prostitution.
I am a professional.
Sorry, I thought I was going to vomit for a second. What happened?
Tell the story love song. I built this thing for you. It can take you higher than Twin Peak Mountain. Oh well, I built this thing for you, and I love you true.
Dad Pop. Where did that idea come from?
It came from my brain.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A little masterclass there, Justin.
Wow, you are messing with my tiny brain this morning. I feel high.
For anybody that wants to get involved in radio, that's how you start a breakfast show the day after a bank holiday. Did you see the colour of the sky this morning? I don't want to get all psychedelic on you, but did you see the colour of the sky?
Well, it wasn't that impressive to me.
Oh, mate, when I was driving on the motorway, it was beautiful pinks and oranges. I turned the radio off, I put in a little bit of Joni Mitchell, and I sucked in the vibe.
Oh, do you know what the best thing about it is?
Go on, mate.
It doesn't cost a penny.
It's free. It's free.
Yeah.
It's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, it's free. Yeah. And yet there are people out there, Justin, that want to murder that planet. They want to murder that sunrise. They want to murder that view. Well, I say no. Yeah. I'm standing up for the little people, not midgets. I don't want to get involved in that.
No.
But the downtrodden.
Here.
Children and the downtrodden. I'm standing up for. Definitely not midgets.
You've got a vibe about you this morning.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. Hey, listen, we should probably do this first story, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
All right, we'll chat later on though. But you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yourself?
Beautiful. Yeah, I'm good. Let's crack on and talk about crackdown.
Yeah.
Remember, guys, he said, slipping into script, when the police cracked down on nuisance bikers in Houghton Regis, Luton and Dunstable. Arrests were made and bikes were crushed. But people said they'd be back over the bank holiday. They were back over the bank holiday. And they were racing behind the Grove Theatre. That's according to this footage, of which we've taken the audio soundtrack from Kelvin Allen. Cheeky. Okay, that's just that's the motorbike noise. Message to self, check the audio before playing it. If it's not worth playing, don't bother playing it.
But imagine having that, though, outside your window until 2 o'clock in the morning.
You've spoken to Kelvin, haven't you?
I have, and Kelvin did say to us, he said, a few weeks ago there was police there, we had 2 police bikes, and this problem stopped. Over the bank holiday weekend, it's been an absolute nightmare. Yeah, he lives in the Parklands flats behind the Grove, massive car park there. Kelvin has been telling me just how bad this weekend has been for him.
Well, we've just got a lot of the young lads in their cars just racing around the car park and playing really, really loud music. It's up until early hours. And also we've got the problems with the motocross bikes also joining in, pulling wheelies, racing around the car park here and through the field behind it.
Now, we've heard this before about the police. Have you actually seen the police here?
Yeah. So one pulled up on probably Friday or Saturday night, and he was stood talking to some lads playing football. But while this was going on, there was kids with the music playing, wheels spinning in the background, and he just drove off and left them to it.
I mean, how does that make you feel as a local resident who's that concerned about this? You've called us. How does that make you feel?
I'm very frustrated with the police and the local councils for just not doing anything about it, but also I'm very pleased for yourselves for actually taking an interest in the issue. It's sort of encouraging from your point of view, but just from us, it's just really just getting beyond, like I said, just can't sleep. It's just getting beyond the joke now, really.
You can't sleep?
No, so I have to be at work really early in the morning, and these lot are out here till 2 in the morning sometimes, probably later, playing very, very loud music and wheels spinning, and obviously the motorbikes, the noise they make is like ear-piercing.
So they're revving up their bikes, and you're home. We can see your window. It's about, 150 yards away? You can hear that clearly from your window?
Oh, very clearly, yeah. It makes the windows rattle at night, the music does, and the bikes, so it's just... Oh, and the cars, because they like banging the exhaust. They've all got, like I said, the boy racer cars. It's just not fair, really.
What sort of videos have you got from this weekend?
Well, they're just very short little ones. Like I said, there was 2 cars drag racing down this long straight, as you can see down here, and sort of skidding up to a point here. They were parked down here at the skate park with the sub music, like the subwoofers and that, blasting music till 2 in the morning. And then the bikes have been out here all weekend racing up and down the field here as well.
So you've got that evidence. So when you said to the police, look, I've got this on camera, I've got this on film, what did they say then?
Nothing really. Yeah, they just. I honestly think we're just whinging residents. I just don't think they understand that this is a really big issue to us.
Now, as we look to our right-hand side, we've got around 20 kids because we've got a skate park
here.
This
is quiet today. Yeah, this is quiet for kids today. Actually, it's normally like by sort of early afternoon, there's at least 50 children here. They're always milling about on here, and it just worries me that someone is going to get run over before anything's done about it. I mean, you can see all the black tyre marks on the tarmac here.
Yeah, you can.
So yeah, I'm just worried for the children really more than anything, and obviously my sleep.
More on that later. Dealey will speak to you in a bit as well, boss.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Not bad at all on the roads across the three counties this morning. Nothing being reported by police. Can't see anything on the cameras or sensors. Still very quiet, as you'd imagine, this time on the morning, and of course half-term this week. As for trains, generally a good service across the three counties. I'm James Worley, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much, James. 6:16. It's Tuesday the 26th of May. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A Dunstable man tells Three Counties Radio he feels ignored over complaints about nuisance off-road bikes. The unexplained death of a 13-year-old young man in Buckinghamshire has sparked a police investigation. And 3 hours of talks between David Cameron and the EU president over Britain's future in Europe. Hang on a second. And 3 hours of... hang on a second. And 3 hours of talks... but hang on a second. And 3 hours of talks happened between David Cameron and the EU president. Don't make no difference. Ain't going to change a thing.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Come on, guys. We know it's not going to change a thing. You can imagine Juncker just going,
Every weekday from 3. Local stories.
People in Watford are being urged to celebrate their local heroes by creating a postcard in their honour. In other local news, rugby fans are being warned to watch out for fake World Cup tickets.
Roberto Peroni.
Now, a metal detectorist has discovered an archaeological find in a field near Royston in Hertfordshire. Taxi drivers in Luton are demanding to be allowed to drive in bus lanes at all times. There is to be a new station at the Leighton Buzzard Narrow Gauge Railway.
Roberto Peroni. Weekdays from 3 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
What sort of videos have you got?
None of your business, Justin. None of your business at all.
House.
Oh, hang on a minute. Whoa. This.
Yeah. Usually I don't do this, but
Ooh.
Go ahead.
Ow.
Come off.
Hey, stop.
Now I'm not trying to be rude, but hey, pretty girl, I'm feeling you. The way you do the things you do reminds me of my Lexus cool. That's why I'm all up in your grill, trying to get you to a hotel. You must be a football coach, the way you got me playing the field. So baby, give me that, and let me give you that. Running her hands through my fro, bouncing on 24s. Why they saying I'm ready? It's the remix to Ignition, hot and fresh out the kitchen. Mama rolling that body, got every man in here wishing. Sipping on coke and rum, I'm like, so what, I'm drunk. It's the freaking weekend, baby, I'm about to have me some fun. Bounce, 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 bounce. Come on. Now it's like murder, she rolled. Once I get you out them clothes, privacy's on the door, but still they can hear you screaming more. Girl, I'm feeling what you're feeling. No more hoping and wishing. I'm about to take my key and stick it in the ignition. So give me that, let me give you that. Running her hands through my fro, bouncing on 24s. Why they saying I'm ready? It's the remix to Ignition, hot and fresh out the kitchen. Mama rolling that body, got every man in here wishing. Sipping on coke and rum, I'm like, so what, I'm drunk. It's the freaking weekend, baby, I'm about to have me some fun. Crystal popping in the Stretch Navigator. We got food everywhere, as if the party was catered. We got fellas to my left, honey's on my right. We bring them both together, we got juking all night. Then after the show, it's the after party. Yeah, and after the party, it's the hotel lobby. Yeah, around about 4, you gotta fill the lobby. Then take it to your room and somebody. Can I get a can I get a running her hands through my fro, bouncing on 24s. Come on, why they saying I'm ready? It's the remix to Ignition, hot and fresh out the kitchen. Mama rolling that body, got every man in here wishing. Sipping on coke and rum, I'm like, so what, I'm drunk. It's the freaking weekend, baby, I'm about to have me some fun. It's the remix to Ignition, hot and fresh out the kitchen. Mama rolling that body, got every man in here wishing. Sipping on coke and rum, I'm like, so what, I'm drunk. It's the freaking weekend, baby, I'm about to have me some fun. Come on.
That's old news. What sort of videos have you got? What sort of videos have you got? That's old news.
Yes, I'd agree.
Ooh, fish fingers. Bird's eye potato waffles, waffly versatile, they go with Eggs, beans, chips, fish fingers. Oh, fish fingers. Bird's eye potato waffles. Waffly versatile.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
All the ladies in the house say, "Well."
Well.
I say, "Well."
Well.
All the ladies in the house say, "Oh."
Why?
Huh? It's fun. McCartney was doing that. He did. McCartney did. I took. Hello, Alice.
Hello.
Hello, Catherine.
Yeah.
Took Dealey to see Paul McCartney the other day in concert, not his house. That'd be weird. And he did a Freddie Mercury bit. He's doing the. Okay, everybody, everybody in the old tool go. Well. Oh, sorry. You got a message, have you? Is the message focus on the show you should be producing? Is that what it is? Is that what that message is? Make me want to. So McCartney's going, right, everybody in the house go, well. And so 20,000 people are going, well. And he goes, go, oh, do dedo. And they're going, oh, do dedo.
No one said what for.
What?
He says, everybody go. Oh.
Oh, could you turn that off, please? Could you turn that off?
I'll just put it on silent.
All right. Well,
I don't want to miss any good text.
Well, what was that last text?
It was a very rude one from you.
Okay, there's a ruder one coming now. Yeah?
Do you know what I'm calling this?
What?
Ev.
My phone was. What do celebrities say when they do loads of drugs? And
hacked. I've been hacked.
I've been hacked, and then they tweet racist abuse, and then they go, "Oh no, I was hacked."
Send me an email because people need to hear that.
Okay. Hang on.
This is what I did this weekend.
We've been having great fun. We're so old, learning how to put our children's voices on.
You did it a really long-winded way, right? And had to read instructions. I just downloaded an app.
Well, it's easier for you, mate. Then it's fine. Mine's a bit more. You just download an app and you just recorded it and it goes on there. There we go. You see, this is mine. Let's bore people with our baby photo, shall we? So if if I get a text, I get this.
You got a text.
And then if I get an email, I got this.
You got an email.
And that's my eldest. And I said, "What voice are you doing?" He went, "Daddy, that's my cool voice." He's 5.
He's got a point though. It is pretty cool.
It's very cool. This is just dumb.
You got a text.
All right, mate, calm down.
But I mean, I have recorded a ringtone, but I think it is too annoying.
Go on.
Right, here we go.
That's annoying.
Plus,
I can see where that.
I can ignore that. I ignore that all day long at home.
I can see where they get their annoyance from there. On Friday, we had a very special guest star on the show. Ali G has prepped for today's shift. Are you here all week or just today?
Just today.
Okay.
One day only.
Oh. No one told me.
No.
But listen, guys. I just thought we could have a bit of fun with this, so just bear with me, right? As prep for today's show, Ali, you must have listened to Friday's show.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the special guest star we had on Friday's show?
I'm guessing it was Eurovision related.
It was Eurovision related. It wasn't the concept of Eurovision because that would be awkward.
Yeah, and it would be hard to find a single guest.
Yeah, but we did find a single guest. Who?
Was it? It wouldn't have been the people that were in it this year, would it?
No, mate,
of course not. They were really busy.
No, we were offered them many, many times. We said no. We said no to Electro Velvet about a dozen times.
So did Europe. Boom.
Yeah, well done, Catherine. All right, mate. I'm putting Ali on the spot. Ali on the spot. Don't go. What are you doing? What are you typing for? Look at me.
I'm not typing.
Look at me. Let go of the keyboard. Let go of the keyboard and the mouse. Remove the mouse. Let go of the mouse. Let go of it. Hit her hand. Burn it with your fag, Catherine.
It's a waste of a fag.
No. Let go of the mouse. Look at me. Who was on the show on Friday? Special guest.
I'm not sure.
Unbelievable. Give her 50 lashes.
Of what?
We'll decide that later. It was Raymond Marks, local singer-songwriter, an all-round nice bloke. Well,
brilliant.
He invited Matt Lockwood to a bottom.
Marlow Bottom.
Oh, sorry. I thought that's
it's a place, it's not a practice.
He went to anyone from Marlow Bottom?
Not anymore. I've given that up.
No, he invited Matt Lockwood to his house in Marlow Bottom for what could only be described as a Eurovision party.
Oh, nice.
Raymond. Listen, Raymond is genuinely a very nice bloke. He's a top bloke. He's a talent. He winds up clocks. Yes. And he's a brilliant singer-songwriter. And his long-term goal, and we've got a plan for this, guys, bear with us. His long-term goal is to write well, an entry for the UK for Eurovision. I suspect it could be a winning. It would certainly do better than Bird's Eye Potato Waffles. But so lockers went, okay, before the fun could begin, there were introductions. I've not heard this. There were the introductions to get out of the way. Here's what happened.
So I've arrived at Raymond's house. Raymond, you're making me a coffee, aren't you?
Yes, I'm making it now.
Milk and 1 sugar, please. And our first guests have arrived as well.
Yes.
What's your name?
I'm Jo.
Jo, and is it?
Leslie.
Jo and Leslie. Did you come to this party last year?
No.
No, this is your first time, is it?
Yes.
Excellent. I'll let you get settled. You've come with a pillow and a duvet. Are you sleeping, are you?
I'm staying overnight.
Ah. Are you planning to drink a bit, are you?
Well, I can, can't I? Because I won't be going home and I won't be needing a car.
Have you come far?
I was in Marlow. I'm Amersham now.
Amersham. So some more people have arrived.
Now there's 5 of us.
What was your name?
Mary.
Mary, I'm
She's
Matthew.
In the Bible. She's in the Bible.
She's in the Bible as well.
Yeah,
Yes,
Mary.
yes. I'm
Mother
in the Bible.
Of Jesus. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah, and that's Leslie over there.
That's Leslie over there. I think I've met Leslie. Introduced already. Yeah.
But you just told us your name was Matthew. I said,
Yes.
think of the Bible, everybody. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. He's the first one.
And Raymond, we've got some of your pictures in here. Are these some of the pictures that you've taken? Yeah.
The one on the end, that's a rock singer.
Oh, right. Who's this with no clothes on? Well, she's a bit topless, isn't she?
She's over there.
Oh, wow, okay. Oh, she's even more topless over here. Well, what's her name?
Jodie. Well, I was working with an Italian artist on some fine work. I did the photograph and the artist did all the lace work on top. It's three-dimensional.
Three-dimensional, beautiful.
Unfortunately, she hit an Italian divorce where her husband was taking everything, so she stopped work.
Where's this massage chair? Because I have a spasm in my back. Where is it?
Sit down, I'll put it on. Is it your back or your leg?
It's bottom of my spine here.
Here we go.
Yeah. Oh, and it's going all the way down. Lower.
There's your coffee.
Lower. Ooh. Oh, that's hit the spot. So we're 15 minutes into the contest, and we've had no actual singing. Oh. Shall we start singing?
I've sung in the fish and chip shop. You can get me. I sang in the.
Be waiting because we're suffocating.
No, I sang in the fish and chip shop. It was a national competition in chip shops, and Chris, the Polish manager, dragged me down. He got a bottle of red wine. He soused me with about 2 glasses of red wine, and we had the words. We could choose which ones, and it was Tom Jones.
Oh, yes.
So, but we had fish and chip words to Delilah. So I'm singing fry, 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 potatoes, fry, 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 and I had a hat on.
Let's sing that. Fried potatoes. Now we've got 3 hosts.
Oh, I suppose it's so that they can do all sorts of different languages between them.
Well, maybe if they get ill, they've at least got one left to do it.
Yeah, so if 2 of the hosts have a heart attack, then they've got one as a spare, haven't they?
What a party.
We're the BBC, yeah?
I think we used to be.
That's not what I was... do you know what? That argument about getting rid of the licence, I now, after hearing that 3 minutes of audio, I now wholeheartedly support that. What a waste of money. Well, the phone-in for the first hour is Where Have You Sang? What national competition involved people singing in a chip shop? And fry potatoes? I mean, that's not really... Oh, Matt, it really does sound like fun. It's such a shame I couldn't make it. 08459 455 555. Do you know the rules? You can call in about anything, but we are asking, where have you... Can anyone beat singing in a fish and chip shop?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's busy on the M25 anti-clockwise between junction 20 for Kings Langley and 19 for Watford. In Bricketwood on the North Circular Road, that's looking busy at the M25 junction 21A roundabout. And in Neasden, also on the North Circular Road, that's looking slow from the M1 at the Staples Corner flyover around to Wembley. In High Wycombe, it's looking a little bit busy by the roadworks on Marlow Hill by the temporary traffic lights that are by the leisure centres. That could cause delays later on this morning. No reports of any problems though on the train departure boards. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Bit of a hangover, mate?
No, unfortunately not.
Just you a bit...
Yeah, no.
Late. Hang on a second, Sammy. Because we have got one of Britain's greatest former road traffic announcers with us. Sammy, say hello to Alice Glossop.
Hello, Alice.
Hi, Sammy.
How's it going?
Oh, it's all good.
It's all right, guys. This isn't Friends Reunited, right? Alice.
Yeah.
She was late for the first hit, something you never did. Just tell her off.
Oh, no.
No.
You know.
Berate her. Go on.
It's all right, mate. Don't worry about it.
No. That is not even an attitude.
Across beds,
outrageous,
and bugs.
This is BBC's Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30. I'm Jane Killick. A man says his partner has made over 100 calls to the police about nuisance off-road bikes and car racing in Dunstable since October. Kelvin Allen contacted this programme because the situation has hardly improved. Police in Buckinghamshire are investigating the unexplained death of a 17-year-old boy. Toby Fairclough suffered what police say was a medical condition in playing fields in North Marsden on Saturday lunchtime. David Cameron has held 3 hours of talks with the European Commission President. It begins a round of intensive diplomacy aimed at renegotiating Britain's membership of the EU. The weather dry with some pleasant sunny periods. On to sport and in cricket. England have won the first against New Zealand by 124 runs at Lords. They bowled out the Black Caps for 220 runs in their second innings with 9.3 overs left on the final day. In football, Norwich City are back in the Premier League after a one-year absence. They beat Middlesbrough 2-0 in the Championship playoff final at Wembley. Wycombe Wanderers manager Gareth Ainsworth says they will bounce back from Saturday's League Two playoff defeat to Southend. The Chairboys lost 7-6 on penalties after drawing 1-1 after extra time. Here's manager Gareth Ainsworth.
You know, it's tough. One team has to lose and it's a cruel way to do it, but we'll be back and we've got a taste for this now. Don't worry, we'll be champing at the bit come August the 8th and we're ready to go again.
Watford haven't commented on reports they're talking to Quique Sanchez-Flores about the head coach's job. They're said to have approached the former Atletico Madrid coach as talks with current boss Slavisa Jokanovic reportedly hit an impasse. John Mooney of Watford podcast From the Rookery End says the fans have faith in the owners.
They know that they need to do things quickly because by the end of June, when the players start coming back, then they need their man in place. They need that sort of we don't want to have that delay because we need to be ready for the first game of the Premier League, not the 5th game or the 10th game. So they are going to make the decision that's right for the football club.
And Derby County are looking for a new manager after sacking Steve McLaren. Derby were top of the Championship at the beginning of March but faded away and missed out on the playoffs. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next bulletin is at 7.
She says there's ants in the carpet, dirty little monsters, eating all the mussels, picking up the rubbish. Give her effervescence, she needs a little sparkle. Good morning TV, you're looking so healthy. We all say don't want to be alone. We wear the same clothes, dry lips when we say goodnight. Another century, oh, it's nothing special. Sex on the TV, everybody's at it, and the mind gets dirty as you get closer to 30. Gives her a cuddle, glowing in a huddle. Good night TV. Same clothes, got me feel the same. And kiss the dry lips when we say goodnight. Another century, oh, it's nothing special.
Lower, lower, lower. Ooh.
What sort of videos have you got?
Yes, you can.
Bird's eye potato waffles, waffly versatile. They go with eggs, beans, chips, fish fingers, fish fingers. Bird's eye potato waffles, waffly versatile.
My ambition is to be able to mime to that perfectly in a convincing fashion, and I'm yay close. I'm yay close to getting there. What do you think, Matt? You don't mind, do you?
Lower.
What?
Lower.
What?
Lower.
There? Yeah. I think we hit the spot. Matt's still alive, yeah? I've not seen him or anything. He's still alive. Is he after...
Yeah, I think he's having a lie-in, though, if you know what I mean.
Scott sends a strange... I don't understand this tweet, Scott. He says, how has Raymond been able to survive on Earth all these years?
On his art.
On his what?
On his art.
OK. I like the idea... I saw the Moomins film yesterday. Oh, it was so boring.
Could you do your button-up?
Sorry?
You're doing a bit of a sort of halfway dealy.
Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, sorry, I said. I saw the Moomins film. 2 minutes into the Moomins, my wife bought tickets for me and the kids. 2 minutes into it, I remembered, I really hate the Moomins. They're so boring. They're so boring. Nothing happens, right? And I fell asleep for the first half hour. But the story, spoiler alert, there's this rich French guy in it, and he wants to be a struggling artist. And I like the idea of being everyone likes the idea of being a struggling artist. But in the film, he realises that being a struggling artist means you drink horrible cheap wine and you live under a boat on the beach. And he goes back to his mansion. And I feel sorry. I mean, I feel sorry for how does Raymond survive? He's literally. I mean, I don't know what he does. He's literally a struggling artist. He's a songwriter that's just never had that break, never had that lucky break. And it's not, and this is true, I'm going to put this to him, it's not always talent that rises. I know loads of talented people that are out of work, and I know loads of rubbish people that are earning millions of pounds. So at what point do you go, do you know what, I'm going to give up? I was going to give up. The 11 o'clock show was the last audition I went for, and I remember all auditions up to then I was full of optimism and hope, and I'm going to do this. The 11 o'clock show was like, well, I might as well do it, and then when I don't get it, I'm going to get a proper job for a few years and rethink. And that I was at that point.
Gosh.
So when do you say?
Some people just believe that it will happen. I would get discouraged, I think.
Yeah, well, okay.
I'm a bit discouraged. Anyway,
you should be.
Anyway, then I remember my job is to come in and have a laugh with my mates every day. So
have you got mates? You should bring them in one day. Did you know that, Alex? She's got mates. It's just nice, isn't it?
Really nice.
You should bring them in one day.
You're a funny
What's
guy.
their name? Made Up and Fantasy. Yeah. Brap.
Oh, that's me pwned.
Completely. What you got in the papes, mates?
Don't seem to matter anymore.
Oh, don't matter.
All right, here we go. Talented Tain Pan, 39, has become an internet phenomenon.
Oh, yeah. Bum, bum, ba-da,
Do you want to hear what his special talent is?
Just say phenomenon again while I look at Alice.
Phenomenon.
Bum, bum, ba-da, bum.
I don't know what's so funny about phenomenon.
Bum, bum, ba-da.
Phenomenon.
Bum, bum, banana, 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 then, la, bum, ba-da, bum. Did you drop one?
My stomach just really rumbled. I don't cut the cheese at work.
Hey. Go on. That's not true. Go on.
I just heard myself say cut the cheese.
There we go.
I'm 37.
Yeah, right, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, sure, if that's what you are today, fine. Not a problem at all. Come on, quickly get to the point.
Anyway, he's become an internet thing after a clip of him inflating a rubber ring with just his ears was posted in Xiamen, China.
I didn't hear any of that story.
Talented Tain Pan, 39, has become an internet phenomenon after a Pardon?
Nothing.
After a clip of him inflating a rubber ring with just his ears was posted in China.
How does he do that?
I don't know. Some people can blow out through their ears, can't they?
They can. And some people can cry milk from their eyes on their head. No. No. Oh, no.
I want you to know that I love you, baby. I want you to know that I care. I'm so happy when you're around me, but I'm sad when you're not there. Sing the song now. What you gonna do? Oh, yeah. What you gonna do? Tell the truth. What you gonna do? What you gonna do about it? I want you to give me your sweet, sweet kisses. I want you to hold me tight. I want you to come when you're right.
sort of videos have you got?
So the thing, because the tubes are all connected, so there are people who can drink milk and then they can cry it. But also,
You have to close your nose, though, don't you?
It blew my mind when I found out. You know when you hold your nose and you blow and your ears pop?
Yeah.
Other people can hear that noise. That's not internal.
Oh?
That's external. That's external.
Prove it.
Come here. Right, you won't be able to hear this, dear listener, and I don't know if I've got how messed up my ears are. You listen close to my ear.
Oh.
Did you hear that?
I could hear him fizzing.
Yeah, that's the fizzing. It didn't pop. You heard it fizzing.
Yeah.
Did you hear that, Alice?
No.
Maybe if you're listening on DAB, you could let me know if you heard my ears fizzing. Oh, I've blown my mind. It's better than drugs. It's not. Drugs are bad, and doing that. Listen to this. This is a terrible.
I had to retrieve something from a nose. That could be the phone in.
Sorry, go on.
My daughter stuck a bead up her nose yesterday.
Hey.
She tried to pass it off as a really hard bogey.
Oh.
But then she had to confess. Then she said it was a piece of Lego. It wasn't. It was a bead. And everyone, and everyone was flapping about it. I say everyone. My husband was flapping about it. What did I do? Cruise straight in, smooth, right? Because babies' noses are quite soft anyway, aren't they?
Baby's nose is nothing.
I just ran my fingers down from the bridge, and how it popped.
Oh yes, boss.
So what if you had stuck up your nose?
Again, steady.
What?
Listen to this.
08459455555.
You know we had Peter on the show the other day.
Yes, of Walmer.
The charity, the animal charity.
Oh right, yeah.
They're at it again. Listen to this outrageous story of them sticking their nose in where it's not wanted.
Remind us what they were doing last time. They had something against fighting cock.
They didn't like cock. The Fighting Cock pub.
They wanted it to be called the Clever Cocks.
So this is what Peter are doing now. Make me want to puke. The bad language that upsets sheep. This is This is not
upsets sheep. Worries them, maybe.
They don't mind being shorn, but sheep draw. Oh, Shaun the sheep. Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
But sheep draw the line at being sworn at. Farmer Ken Turner found out what sensitive lambs his flock were after he was reported to the RSPCA for bad language. It's a funny story, right?
Who reported him?
Shearers tipped off animal welfare officers after complaining about his string of expletives. It's a funny story. Which they said was distressing the livestock. Flippin' heck. A bemused Mr. Turner yesterday said he'd not realised his cursing had been upsetting the animals, adding, "None of them actually told me they were offended. It's a fun story, all right? They just walked down to the paddock, grazed intently, and I didn't notice any distress." The farmer questioned whether it was all an elaborate joke. It's a fun story about a guy being in trouble for swearing at sheep. But the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals has lodged an official complaint after getting hold of footage of Mr. Turner shot by an undercover worker. It's a fun... He swore at sheep!
Who do you lodge an official complaint with?
Makes me want to puke, these do-gooders. There's one more sentence. Let me read this sentence. Probably not relevant. It said there was also evidence of sheep being punched. Oh, right,
okay,
yeah.
right.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's busy on the M25 anti-clockwise from junction 16 for the M40 to 14 for Heathrow, and anti-clockwise as well between junction 20 for Kings Langley and 19 for Watford. It's also looking quite slow too on the speed sensors. In Hitchin on Stevenage Road, there's drainage works going on at White Hill Road, so that could get busy later. And in Milton Keynes, looking at the speed sensors on Standing Way, it's looking okay at the moment at the Kingston roundabout, but there are roadworks, so expect delays there later. No reports of any problems on the train so far. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. Just a reminder of that last sentence. It said there was also evidence of sheep being punched. So it was a man beating up sheep.
They had great fun writing that until that line, didn't they?
Fun. Why did they even need to include that line? That's ruined the story for me. It really... I mean, don't need to know about that. 6:46. It's, Tuesday, the 26th of May. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A Dunstable man has told this programme how he's frustrated about the lack of police action over nuisance off-road bikes. A 17-year-old young man has died in Buckinghamshire after taking what he believed was a recreational drug. And David Cameron has begun a round of diplomacy over Britain's... diplomacy sounds like a really boring... Who fancies a round of diplomacy? Anybody? I'd rather play Risk and cut my eyeballs out in Europe, yes. Here's the weather with Sarah.
Beds, hearts and bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yes, thanks very much indeed. It was at times disappointingly cloudy yesterday, but it felt pleasant enough, I think, across the 3 counties. Today's a slightly better day, a bit more in the way of sunshine. Temperatures doing better as well, and actually will stay dry for today and for much of tomorrow as well. In fact, even into Thursday and Friday, a lot of dry weather in the forecast, although the risk of showers from Thursday. But today, with that sunshine, doing nicely, 17, possibly 18 Celsius. Some cloud bubbling up in the middle part of the day. Looks like it might well melt away by the end of the afternoon, so we'll start to see a fine evening once more. Now, if you're a gardener, just watch out for the temperatures overnight tonight. 7 degrees comfortably in our towns. Colder than that in sheltered rural spots. So gardeners, just be aware again, tomorrow will be a chilly start, but a sunny one, and then, as I say, dry for much of the day. We've got a weak weather front to come in the evening. Might just give us a few spots of rain as we go through the evening period, and the cloud will build in advance of that in the afternoon, but still 17 degrees for tomorrow. Fairly breezy but bright for Thursday, a little bit cooler at 15 or 16 degrees, the risk of a shower, and quite a few heavy showers around on Friday with some thunder mixed in, but also some good dry sunny spells between the showers. And it's not showers right the way through the day. It looks like it'll be the middle part of the day and dry either end.
Nick Coffer on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Every day it's not just about great music and great conversation.
I'll get a bit technical here.
It's about local experts helping you across beds, hearts and bucks.
So what we're talking about then is capital gains tax potentially on the portion of the property that they directly own.
On finance, relationships.
But look at the way that you have contributed to this situation.
Health.
When you have a cough, which can seem quite innocuous in this way, but just irritating, asthma is something that we would think of.
Your pets.
Particularly if your dog is a border collie cross, it will be epilepsy.
And even law.
You still cannot say, Judge, you have to stick to this, but the judge's approach now is going to be, well, why shouldn't we?
Local advice for local people.
Nick Coffer, weekdays from 12 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
A new royal family, a wild nobility. We are the family. A new royal family, a wild nobility. We are the family. A new royal family, a wild nobility. We are the family.
Lower, lower, lower. Ooh.
I feel beneath the white
enjoyed yesterday. If you missed yesterday's bank holiday show, where the heck were you, slackers? Me and Boyle were here, playing music. 08459 455 555. Do you know what? The two dream jobs I'd like a music show where I'm allowed to play anything I want. It's chosen by me, not by computer. And a late night phone in 10 till 1, Monday to Friday. Boom! Got anyone? Oh. Thank you, Alice. Morning, Dealey.
Good morning, boss.
How you doing, fella?
Oh, boss, do you know what? I'm doing good. Yeah? I'm doing good this morning.
I've got do you know what? Great music, great vibes, great guys, great cough. Just arrived with Alice Glossop.
Yeah.
I'm living the dream, mate.
You are. You really, really are.
What's it like doing a music show where you get to play what the heck you want?
Well, it's not technically what I want. It's what the people want.
Okay.
But, you know, you can pick and choose. Do you know what? It's a great feeling because you often speak to people that have been in the business for years and they say, do you know what? I'd love just to play what people want, but they don't get that luxury.
No, most of it. Here we go, guys. Most of the music is chosen by a computer on radio stations. Very few presenters get to play what they want.
On the basis that it doesn't offend anybody.
Yeah. Come on, I want to. So I got told off. Where was it? It was somewhere. Anyway, I got told off somewhere for the BBC because I'd caused offence. So brilliant, good. And what I'd said wasn't offensive. The person just chose to complain about it and said it was good. He felt something. He felt something. Most BBC local radio, and trust me, I've listened to loads of it. There's some brilliant stuff out there. Most of it, it's just radio wallpaper.
The problem is people are scared to offend. You know, if you've got a genuine opinion, life is about opinions. Every single person is different. That's why life is good, correct?
Exactly. Radio should just make you feel something.
Yeah.
If you want radio wallpaper, then there are loads of stations. Heart and Magic and that's great. And nothing against. I like a bit of magic from time to time. There's nothing against that. But I think if you're doing radio where someone is talking, you should feel something as a listener, either angry or enraged or excited or happy or feel something, guys.
Here's the thing, though. You can also give us a ring, 08459 455 555. Don't just ring or don't just sit there and simmer. That's the whole point. Come on and have a chat.
Come on.
It's people. Let's talk.
Hang on a second. Let's just hear that again.
It's people.
No.
Let's talk. It's people.
Did you put sugar in this cough?
Alice.
I'm furious. Did you put sugar in this cough, mate?
Do you not have sugar anymore?
Flippin'.
Wow, do you
She's
know what,
giving you
the last
retro
2
cough.
hours, I'm definitely going to feel something if you've got sugar in your coffee.
And I've noticed something as well. This is here.
There's no more Fanny.
But your little one, the big one have gone from my computer.
Oh, really?
They've gone. Look, the little disc picture is there, meaning it's gone. And I know that
archived.
JVS had some stuff missing as well the other day.
They've been packed, ready to go to Dunstable.
Here we go, Justin. Listen, I think you can get something with this. Retraction. Strike that from the record. Unusual punishments you received.
Oh.
Because I don't think there's anything wrong with this.
Yeah.
It's in Turkey. They've got no laws. A head teacher was filmed using a struggling pupil's head to clean his whiteboard in Turkey. Now, do you know what I thought? Let me read this again and see if you can spot what's wrong with this, okay? There's something that leaps out at me here, thinking this is a teacher was filmed using a struggling pupil's head to clean his whiteboard in Turkey. Catherine, what's wrong with that story?
What do you mean from a child welfare perspective?
No, just there's something wrong in that story, in the reportage. Something happened in this classroom that shouldn't have happened.
The filming.
Thank you. A teacher was filmed using a struggling pupil. They had mobile phones and they were allowed to film it. Well, the teacher should have confiscated that camera phone and used that kid's head to clean the toilet. I don't see anything wrong with this. It's like the teacher that got done for sellotaping a kid's mouth. Oh, for goodness sakes. It was a gobby kid. It was a gobby kid. We had a teacher at our school, and fair play, we hung a Johnny from the door. So every time he walked in, it bashed his head, and we put one on his exhaust pipe. Right? So what he did...
We blew one up and floated it out the window.
Well, what he did, you know that graph paper?
Yeah.
With like million squares.
Mm-hmm.
He made me and my friend sit out in the canteen, put a tiny cross in every single square. Yeah.
That'll teach you.
That taught me. It didn't. We had suspicions about that gentleman. And it was the 80s, so probably true. Unusual punishments. You can get some gold out of that, can't you,
I think so. I mean, obviously, some of them could get a bit naughty and they could offend. But if we're willing to go down that line, that's fine by me.
Let's go down that line.
Yeah?
Yeah. But it's your head on the chopping block, yeah?
OK, mate.
Cheers, with this. Speak to you later.
Take care.
Ta-ta.
My dad had the finger of shame.
Sorry? What?
Yeah.
Do you want to confess this on air? Do we need to get a counsellor?
He had a teacher who, if someone boobed in class,
yeah,
everyone had to point the finger of shame.
Oh.
So you'd find yourself on the end of like 25 quivering digits.
Oh. So now, OK, listen, we've got to go to
You'd say, point it harder! Point it harder! And the kid'd be like...
Unusual punishments, please. 81333. Start your text 3CR. 08459 455 555. It's interesting you mentioned shaming. I want to talk about that bloke that knocked down the kiddie on his bicycle.
Oh, yeah. His life's been made hell, hasn't it?
Yeah, but his life has been... I feel really sorry for that guy.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it in a bit.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25, it's slow anti-clockwise from junction 21 for the M1 to 19 for Watford, and in Bricketwood on the North Orbital Road at the M25 junction 21A roundabout, it's starting to build up there. In Mill Hill on Watford Way, that's slow from the Apex corner towards the Mill Hill Circus, and in Biddenham, just north of Bedford on the Bramham Road, that's looking slow eastbound through the roadworks between the A428 and Paula Radcliffe Way. On the train departure boards, there's no reports of any delays at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. Today, listen, I know we're the BBC, and you shouldn't be punishing children. You should be asking their parents what's wrong. Let's celebrate the magic of cruel and unusual punishments, please. 08459 455 555.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock. I'm Jane Killick. The headlines. Dunstable man feeling ignored over nuisance off-road bikes. Police investigation over unexplained death in Buckinghamshire, and jail for High Wycombe arsonist.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A man says his partner has made over 100 calls to the police about nuisance off-road bikes and car racing in Dunstable since October, but the situation has barely improved. Kelvin Allen has contacted this programme, saying the problem's been going on for so long he doesn't know what else to do.
Just can't sleep. It's just getting beyond a joke now, really. So I have to be at work really early in the morning, and these lot are out here till 2 in the morning sometimes, probably later, playing very, very loud music and wheels spinning. And obviously the motorbikes, the noise they make is like ear-piercing.
Police in Buckinghamshire are investigating the unexplained death of a 17-year-old boy. Toby Fairclough suffered what police say was a medical condition in playing fields in North Marsden on Saturday lunchtime. He was taken to hospital but died. A second 17-year-old boy from Buckingham has been arrested on suspicion of supplying a controlled drug and released on police bail. Figures obtained by the BBC show more than 500,000 gas and electricity customers were forced to have prepayment meters installed in their homes. The energy regulator Ofgem has launched an investigation. Brian Jackson from British Gas says they always try other options first.
When we go through a warrant process, it's after we've exhausted all of those other avenues to try and provide support that really helps keep customers on track. And there's a huge amount that we can do in terms of energy efficiency, but also through the British Gas Energy Trust, where we are able to provide grant support to customers through paying off energy arrears.
A ban on exclusive contracts in 0 hours comes into force today. Employers can no longer prevent staff on this type of agreement from also being able to work elsewhere. David Cameron's held talks with the European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker at the start of a round of intensive diplomacy aimed at renegotiating Britain's membership of the EU. He's due to visit several European capitals later this week to try to win support for his plans. A man's been jailed for more than 9 years for starting fires in High Wycombe. 29-year-old Richard Thomas pleaded guilty to 2 counts of arson. More from Louise Parry. Late one evening in February, Thomas opened the window of a flat in West Wickham Road and set the curtains alight. The fire was put out, but the following day, Thomas returned and used the lighter to start another fire. 5 men were evacuated and treated for minor burns and smoke inhalation. Thomas, who's from West Wickham Road, was sentenced to 9 years and 3 months in prison. The budget airline Ryanair has just announced a huge increase in profits. In the year to the end of March, it made €867 million, around £613 million, up 66% on the previous year. And in cricket, the Australian Trevor Bayliss has emerged as the favourite to replace Peter Moores as England coach. The England and Wales Cricket Board are expected to make an announcement in the next 24 hours. The weather, dry today with a mix of cloud and pleasant sunny spells with a high of 18 Celsius. And get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3counties.
OK, this is how we phrase it. Imaginative punishments. Imaginative punishments. But what we basically mean are cruel and unusual ones. 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Brian's on the line. Morning, Brian.
Morning, Ian.
You got imaginative punishments for us?
Yes. It was my father. It was pre-Second World War. When I was at school, he was wearing. They had to wear shorts. Anyone naughty, they had to kneel down on dried peas.
On what did you say?
Dried peas.
Dried peas?
Yeah.
How long did they have to kneel down for?
Oh, I didn't quite get that one. I wasn't sure how long.
But it was that's going to smart the old kneecaps.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Flipping it. Do you know what? I don't think you should hit children. I really don't think you should hit children. But mental and emotional torture is perfectly acceptable in my book.
Yeah.
Brian, thank you very much. It's not the best line. Guys. Before you go to the Ofcom, A, I know the rules better than you, so save your time. And B, really, any texters?
Yeah.
Yay.
And I've got them up.
What, the listeners?
Well,
they're not seeing you?
The texters.
Okay.
Oh. It's a bit
severe, cruel and unusual.
An off-road biker came out of a property doing a wheelie down a major road in front of fast-moving traffic, says Pat in Houghton Regis. I gave a description to the police call centre and all she said is, where is he now? I gave her an address that the police could give a visit to, but she didn't seem interested. Talked to me as if it was a new problem.
I don't get it.
Brick wall springs to mind.
I don't get it.
Pat's not very happy with police
response.
Oh,
it's not a joke, because the way you said do the first line again.
An off-road biker came out of a property doing a wheelie down a major road.
I leant forward. I'm in. I'm ready. Where's this going?
Well, it's taking us to the heart of the action.
But it's a news story.
It's a serious thing,
We'll be talking about the bikes in a second with our guest in a second.
And we've also had a text through from Carl, who's listening to another local radio station.
Good morning, Carl, although you can't hear us.
Well, he can now, I think, probably. He says, how soon after your alarm goes off can you be out the door? That's their phone in this morning. Thankfully, I'll be in Hertfordshire in 10 minutes, says Carl.
No, whoa, hang on a second, right? We knocked the other BBC local radio stations for.
I didn't say it was
honest,
a BBC one.
It probably is. Let's be honest, we knocked them for being not as good as us. But that is actually genius. That is genius. Give us it again.
How soon after your alarm goes off can you be out the door?
Yesterday, I
could be out straight away. I'd be in a state, but I could be out.
Yesterday, I was out after the alarm. 6 minutes.
Wow.
And I was wearing the same clothes that I wore the night before.
And you hadn't had a wash, I noticed.
Hadn't had a wash. Fed the cat, was out. Boom, 6 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not... If anyone can beat 6...
I like to take my time and prepare my work surface.
Do you mean... Oh, dear goodness gracious me, there's an image.
Call 08459 455 555.
Right.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Bank holiday weekend, off-road bikers returned with a vengeance. I think I've got that film on DVD somewhere. To Dunstable, keeping residents awake at night. And that's not the only thing. Young men have taken to drag racing behind the Grove Theatre. This seems to go on and on and on. Well, we found out about this through Kelvin Allen, who joins me now. Morning, Kelvin.
Oh, good morning.
And you, why did you contact us instead of the authorities?
Well, me and my partner have already been calling
sort of authorities for probably over a year now, and it's probably at least 100 calls, probably more, and also neighbours and that have been, and one person's actually moved out because he just couldn't sleep with his kids and that in the house.
Okay, so tell us, without obviously, don't give us the full postcode and address, but where are you, and where do these off-road bikers go? How close are they?
Well, the bikers are all riding behind the sort of Grove Theatre and that in school. There's like a sort of car park with a sort of AstroTurf, and there's a brand new skate park there as well, and obviously the flats and that sort of a lot of the issues are coming from are literally just behind it, probably about a couple of 100 metres away at worst.
And how regular is this noise?
For at least every other night, near enough all week, to be honest, most of the time. It's an odd night we get off. Like last night, they sort of left about 11:30, so that was quite nice of them.
Oh, 11:30 is a good night, is it?
Yeah, it is.
What time can it go on to?
We've had it up to about 2:30 before. So.
Flipping heck.
Yeah, it's not nice.
And any idea how many of them are doing it?
Well, there's 3 or 4 regular cars, and there's at least 3 bikes that are down there regularly, and there's also sort of a lot join them on and off. So, yeah, on some nights, there's probably up to sort of 15 cars down there and 4 or 5 bikes. So
I'm assuming that you've not gone down there and had a word with them.
We did the other night, but they all just drove off.
Did you? Did you go down? Because I would have been terrified.
Oh, luckily one of the neighbours wanted to come out with me because he was nearly in tears because obviously his kid was trying to sleep.
Oh.
But they just drove off, politely waving at us.
Oh, they were giving you the finger and stuff, were they?
Yeah, that's the
And
one,
they wouldn't. You didn't even get a chance to say, "Look, guys, come on, be reasonable."
Well, that's all I wanted to do, but no, they're not interested really. And to be honest, the 1 or 2 we have spoken to in the past, they've just sort of come up with every excuse possible, really, and they just ignore us. I think.
What excuses have they come up with? What have they said to justify this kind of selfish behaviour?
I really don't want to say, to be honest, because one of them was using a family death as an excuse to be like letting off. Yeah, and I don't agree with stuff like that, so I just sort of.
Blimey, well that's it's an unusual way to grieve, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's what I thought, honestly. But,
you say that you and your partner have made 100 calls to the police.
At least, yeah. I mean, she's got about 70 odd sort of logged, but she's given up logging it now because it's just day in, day out calling, and they're just sort of palm it off, really, just sort of say, well, they're not causing much nuisance and stuff like that. So,
have you? Okay, so they don't come out at all and have a look.
No, well, we've seen one police car there recently, but he just had a quick chat in the car park with a couple of lads playing football, which weren't doing any harm. And in the meantime, everyone else was racing around behind him, and then they just left. So, I'm a bit baffled. I mean, I must admit, though, a few weeks ago, it did calm down for a few days. After there were some police on motocross bikes that turned up, and they did actually quieten it down for sort of maybe a week. That was at least sort of 8 to 10 weeks ago, and it's just getting worse and worse since. So,
have you spoken to the council about it, like environmental health or something?
Well, and that's why I contacted yourselves. Really, we're getting to the point, just didn't know where else to go. To be honest, I never even thought that.
Well, let me make that as a suggestion, Kelvin. The council environmental health, just even. I mean, what are they going to do? Possibly nothing, but at least it's logged with them, because quite often we get councillors on to talk about stuff and they say, well, no one's complained to us about it. So that maybe that's something you could do in the next day or two, is just give them a call and say, I just want to register, I want to register a complaint. It's so frustrating, isn't it? And I thanks partly to people coming onto our show before to talk about this in Houghton Regis. The police got off their backside and they went and they've done a couple of spontaneous unannounced raids, but you must be really disappointed with the police, because they're not fighting your corner, are they?
Well, no, it's just nothing seems to be done, and like I said, and there's a lot of children down there, which is not really the main concern, if you know what I mean, because I said obviously the sleep's a big issue, but it's just a lot of children there with the skate park there, and obviously at weekends the Grove Theatre has a lot of stuff on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of old people and families. Things they don't seem to care whether there's like a full car park or it's empty. I mean, even when it's full, they're like zigzagging between the sort of people trying to get in and out and stuff. It scares the hell out of me, to be honest.
No, I bet. And, as a dad of 2 young kids, if I saw something like that going on near me, I'd be terrified and furious in equal measure. What would you like to see done, Kelvin? What would be your ideal solution to this?
Well, it just needs to stop, really. I mean, you just can't drive like that. It's just not on. So, I mean, I've not got a problem with the kids coming down to have a little sit early evening and have a chat and a little bit of music, as long as it's not ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because obviously kids have got to be kids and they need somewhere they can sit and talk. But, I mean, they're just abusing the privilege, really, at the moment. It's just not on.
All right, well, listen, if anybody else can tell us about this as well, this is around sort of near the Grove Theatre in Dunstable, 08459 455 555. Kelvin, do me a favour, give the council a call in the next day or two.
Indeed, thank you.
I would suggest environmental health is the department you want to go through to, but just, make that complaint known so it's registered with them.
Brilliant, yeah.
And let us know if anything changes, and we'll let you know what we hear from this end.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, and thanks for taking my call.
Nice one, mate. Thank you for getting in touch.
I feel like somebody's listening.
Well, we are, Kelvin, and we'll pursue this. Thank you very much indeed. 084. What a nice gentleman. I would be at my wit's end if I was him. I'd be at my wit's end. Bless him. Well done. Thank you, Kelvin. And likewise, if you've got a story or something is going on and you feel that the police or the council aren't listening, give us a call, 08459 455 555, or you can send me an email, ian.lle@bbc.co.uk, and we'll look into it. If it's not right for this show, we'll forward it on to another show. I quite often get stuff that doesn't sit comfortably here, but we'll sit better with Nick Coffer or Roberto or somebody like that. So, get in touch and we'll forward, or JVS. I forward stuff on to JVS. He was a nice lad, wasn't he?
Yeah, really nice. He told me to be good as he put the phone down.
Yeah, well, he's heard.
What does he know?
He's heard. He saw you coming into work on an off-road bike. He knows you're one of them. Poor bloke.
Yeah,
well,
awful.
Well, there we go. Any more texts?
I've had a tweet through here from John Pace saying
Morning, John.
He had a teacher at school who made you write essays in detention on subjects such as the love life of a balloon.
Oh,
gosh,
dear, yeah.
And David Hemmel says I'd spread tax on the bikers' road.
He means nails.
Yeah.
Pins, we'd call them in this. He's watched too many episodes of Penelope Pitstop. Morning, Dennis.
Good morning.
You're still breathing.
Oh, listen to me, young fella.
You sound very weak, though. Not long to go.
No. Listen, already...
And now the end is near.
Already I've started getting birthday presents.
Well, when's your birthday, mate?
On Friday, but last Friday, the kids from across the school, across the road, knocked on the door with the headmistress and presented me with a cake and a hand-drawn card, which to me was better than any £10 card.
Really? Well, that's
Lovely
nice.
Kids, absolutely super kids they are.
You didn't eat the cake, did you?
I've eaten some of it.
Never eat a cake from a listener or from a kid?
Yes, it doesn't matter.
Never.
It was very nice.
My boys make food.
Yes.
Never eat it. I pretend to eat it.
No.
Never eat it because I know that my youngest won't let go of his willy.
Well, I'm sorry about that, but these would...
It's true, Alice. You wait if you have kids and you have boys. Honestly, the youngest, and we had it with the eldest, and he stopped, and now the youngest is doing it. He was sat there in the Moomins. I said, "Come on, son. I know it's a dark cinema, but please, let go of that." Wasn't that good a
Which
film?
part was it?
It was his willy.
No, I mean of the Moomin film.
Oh, it was all the way through. I mean, it's all the way through. Dennis.
Yes. Also, about the bikes off road.
Here we go.
I heard you were saying you were packing up ready to come to Dunstable.
Well,
where we think you're going to be, there's already off-roaders scooting around.
How do you think I'm going to get to work?
I don't know.
Thanks for calling.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25, there are queues now anti-clockwise from junction 17 for Maple Cross to 14 for Heathrow, and further afield clockwise there's a breakdown at junction 30 for Lakeside at the turning for the A13, so there's a rolling roadblock there at the moment. In Borehamwood on the A1 there are queues southbound from the Holiday Inn towards Stirling Corner, and in High Wycombe on Easton Street there's resurfacing work going on near there at the High Street, so that could cause some delays. Also looking at the speed sensors in Milton Keynes at the Kingston roundabout, that could cause some delays with the roadworks there, but it's not looking too bad at the moment, and no reports of any delays on the train departure boards. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. We're celebrating, how can we phrase this so as not to cause offence? Imaginative punishments you may have received. 08459 455 555. Right now, though, it's 7:15. These are your headlines. A Dunstable man has told BBC Three Counties Radio he feels ignored over complaints about nuisance off-road bikes. The unexplained death of a 17-year-old boy in Buckinghamshire has sparked a police investigation, and an investigation has been launched into the number of people forced to have prepaid gas and electricity meters in their homes.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
FA Cup final day on the BBC.
Delta's got space into the back of the net.
Get carried away one last time.
Into the area, beats two men, beats a third, scores for Arsenal.
The FA Cup final, Arsenal versus Aston Villa.
That was a brilliant play from Aston Villa. That is quality from Arsenal.
kicking off on Saturday at 5:30 with coverage throughout the day on BBC One and across the BBC.
So, at the weekend, Matt Lockwood went to... It was a really big day for gays, wasn't it? Saturday was a big day for gays.
Well, and lovers of Europop. It's not exclusively a homosexual activity.
It was Saturday was officially the gayest day ever.
Oh, because of Ireland.
Ireland voting that they can get married.
Right.
Gay pride in Birmingham. And Eurovision.
Well,
it was a gay day.
Triple whammy.
Well, Matt Lockwood went to a local singer-songwriter's house to talk about Eurovision and to watch the Eurovision happening live on the television. Matt, what was it like? Matt?
Is Matt there?
No, he's not here. He's not. Where is Matt? It says here, 7:17. Lockers in studio. Who set up that guest? Matt Lockwood. We have a screen in front of me, okay, and it tells me what's coming up, and there's a little bit of script, and it tells me who set it up. Right?
Let's round.
It says Lockers in studio, set up by Matt Lockers.
Here.
Oh!
Here we go. I'm here. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yo-ba-da-ba-doo.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Are we on air, are we? Oh, how are you? Are you all right? Look at his face. You're in shock. Well, I was in shock when I went to the Eurovision party. 4 hours of mayhem. Beautiful vibes, though. Really enjoyed it. After all the introductions, it was... the party got started. I saw Jan. She'd travelled from was it Amersham, I think it was? Amersham, yeah. Then there was Mary, who sang in a fish and chip shop. Fried potatoes. And then I had a back massage, which was very, very nice. Raymond was particularly concerned about my spasm. And that was lower. Ooh, really got to the spot he did then.
Sort of saw the face then as well.
And then there was a lovely spread as well that Sheila, Raymond's partner, had made. There was coleslaw, potato salad, there was grapes, orange segments. I did say, is any white wine, Sheila? And she said, no. I went, oh. Says, is any beer, Sheila? She says, no. I went, oh. And then Raymond showed me his pictures and showed me where I was sitting. Lots of chairs, big TV. Yeah. Right. This is a piece I did with Mary and Leslie after a few glasses of wine, and we were critiquing the songs. Have a listen to this. So, Mary, you compare the Swedish entry to a migraine.
Oh, yeah, because it's a lot of flashing images. But it's good. But I wonder about the electricity bills. That's what I worry about. I worry about the electricity bills in this place.
Do you want to do Graham Norton's job for him? I can arrange that. I work for the BBC. I'll have a word with Graham, and next year Mary can do Graham Norton's job. I would pay to watch that. I'd pay a subscription to the BBC for that.
See,
I thought that's the best song so far. It was very straightforward, catchy.
No, what it is unfortunately for Sweden, nothing measures up to ABBA, and frankly, it's just nothing to me.
So you two are discussing the Austrian song now. What's your thoughts on the Austrian song?
Meeting a person looking like that in Austria.
It looks a bit like Conchita, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah.
Right, actually.
I only found
out
today that Conchita is a man. We've been wondering all the week whether it's a man or a woman, and in the Daily Mail today it said his mother knows him as Tom somebody. I thought, he is a man then. I thought that beard.
I wasn't sure if it was a man or a woman. I was a bit confused.
The body and the arms look like a woman, and the voice sounds like a woman. Can you have your voice broke and then have your voice unbroken again? Can you? Well.
So this is a Grease song.
Too shouty. It doesn't sound like Grease, does it?
And too much cleavage on show.
No.
Take on the Latvian entry, Mary.
Well, I don't think the scenario would be good if she stepped forward. She's going to fall off the plinth she's standing on.
What about the song, Mary?
What about the song? No.
So we're now on Azerbaijan. Leslie, what have you just said about this song? No, you've got to say it. You said that Graham Norton would be drooling. Is that a quote? Are you going to deny that? No, she's not going to deny that.
I don't like Graham Norton with his beard. Has he got a beard at the moment tonight? I don't like it at all. Not a grey one when you're only, in his 50s, whatever he is. Makes him look like an old man. Don't like it.
What about the dancers, Mary? You haven't quoted about the dancers. What do you think of them?
Well, they're all scrabbling about on the floor. But they're men in peculiar bottom stuff, aren't they?
But I think what they're supposed to represent are wolves, because it's the cry of the wolf.
Oh.
So he's making the cry with that awful voice, and they are the wolves.
I see. Oh, I didn't concentrate, did I?
Oh dear.
You spent the whole night there.
Mary made the night, and so did Leslie.
And this is the noise that this was you and Mary earlier on.
Lower. Ooh.
And then as you said goodbye.
Yeah. So Raymond wanted us to score the songs based on because you heard there, didn't you? Performance,
yes,
which was kind of how they sung it. The scenario, so was there a lovely lady in the background?
Yeah.
Was a visual display, and the actual song, what we thought of the song. But there was confusion about the marking system, which I need to clear up with Raymond later on. Will we mark in each category out of 10, or was the whole thing 10? But anyway, towards the end it got political, and when Australia, well, they sung, didn't they? I scored them way, way down, but then Raymond says we shouldn't let politics influence our decision-making. But, it's Eurovision.
No, exactly.
That's what happens.
It's a song contest.
Coleslaw,
What?
potato grapes.
Steady.
She says, no.
Stop it.
And then, when Ireland gave us 2 points, we can't even rely on Ireland for any points.
They gave us 2 points, mate.
2 points. It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing, because it's out of 12 points. If Ireland are dissing us, giving up on us, then it's the end of it. I think we should just pull out of this thing now and forget about it. It's pure nonsense. I mean, building bridges. What? Didn't build any bridges on Saturday night, did we?
Was that the name of the song?
That was the theme of the contest, building bridges.
Okay. Listen, Raymond Marks is coming on in an hour.
He is, and we're going to have this out.
Well, okay. Here's my plan, okay? I love the BBC. I think I would say 85% of it is brilliant, 15% of it is guff, right?
I would agree.
And one of the guff things is the fact that some suit in the BBC who's never made a television programme, never made a radio programme, never written a song, never produced anything, makes the decision, hasn't got the balls to come out and say, I'm the guy that chose the Eurovision song. Faceless, nameless suit. Right?
I mean, it didn't work on the night, did it?
Didn't work.
No, because the whole thing now is it's a spectacle, it's an arena, and it just felt like they were singing to themselves.
The thing is, we are the BBC, right?
We're going to sort this out.
We can... Will you shut up?
Sorry, Ian, carry on. I'm a bit...
I know, just stop it, mate.
I'm going to not look at you.
Well, no, don't. That's just weird.
No, because I don't know when you're talking.
He's turned his back to me. That's just weird.
Well, but it's lockers.
Here's what we're going to do.
Right.
When is the next Eurovision?
In a year.
Right, OK, we've got a year. We are going to start a campaign starting today to get Raymond Marks as the official entry for next year's Eurovision. And this is genuine.
Lockers, could you send him an email?
Yes.
Just to keep me out of the emails. Can you send him an email asking him for a copy of Stranger No Danger, because I think the people need to hear it.
Let's get Stranger No Danger, but also we get him to write a brand new song. Right, this is genuinely my plan. Okay, we've got a year to do this. We get him and we follow because Raymond's too good to waste. Right.
When you say we follow, Lockers can follow.
This is your project. Okay, this is your Gillard.
Is it really?
This is your local radio award. Okay, this is the kind of rubbish they love.
Well, if you lip sync to it, then definitely.
You are going to follow him over the next year, from the creation of a new song to us petitioning the BBC. We'll go down to Broadcasting House. I'll come with you to Broadcasting House.
Yeah.
We'll go down there. We will deliver. We're going to do this.
We'll knock on the door.
We're going to knock on the door.
We will knock on NBH, those suits, get them to listen.
Yeah, totally.
We'll chain ourselves to the door.
We're not going to do that.
Well, I am.
Okay. They've got guns, the commissionaires at NBH, New Broadcasting House. I've got guns. 08459 455 555. Are you with us or are you against us, dear listener?
Sort this out.
First things first, let's just give him a sample. Stranger No Danger. Send him an email. He'll be up.
He will be up, yeah.
And that's your cue to leave.
Is it really?
Goodbye, lockers.
I'll see you in an hour. Goodbye. Do you want any more coffee or tea?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, here we go.
And you say an hour, I mean 50 minutes.
50 minutes.
Okay, bye-bye.
Oh, yeah, 50 minutes.
Okay.
Precise, lockers. Just finish this coffee quick for you.
You know, we had the marvellous gentleman. Where was he from? The Steve, the guy we had on last week, who blew our minds, was saying, "Can I come back in a month to show you how much I've achieved?"
Oh yeah, he was a Luton Borough Council. Hang on a minute, lockers. Just a moment. I'm going to give you some specific instructions.
We'll give him the instructions and we'll talk about this. Go on.
I'm decaf. Can't you tell I'm all chilled out? So it's in my locker. You know where it is. You know what to do.
So this guy from Luton Borough Council.
No sugar, no thank you, lockers.
Flipping. This guy from Luton Borough Council.
Yeah,
came
he was
in.
an officer
Steve.
as well.
And he brought in the signs to stop the off-road biking. Where was that going to be? I can't remember. Anyway, he brought in the signs. He had signs to stop off-road biking, and I was saying, well, are you sure a sign is going to work? Have you seen what Louise Hartley has just tweeted us?
I've retweeted it, yes.
It's a shot of one of those signs, and what's being ridden behind it?
An off-road bike.
I mean, Louise, thank you. I tell you what we'll do. I'm busting with ideas today. We will do that. We'll do that Raymond Marks thing. That's a year is going to be great, and we'll put it all together. It'll be a nice Christmas show one day as well. Anyway, if you've seen these crack down on nuisance motorbikes signs, could you take a picture of where they are, please? If there is a motorbike or a quad bike in the background, you get double points. Let's have a nice... 'cause I hope this works. He was such a nice bloke. I hope this works. Let's get a rogues gallery of these signs and the effect or lack of that they are having.
And you can be a bike buster.
That sounded a bit Nicky Campbell for me, mate.
I know. I've been practising.
OK, well done.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There are queues on the M25 anti-clockwise between junction 21 for the M1 and 15 for the M4, and further afield on the M1 southbound there's a lane closed at junction 16 for Daventry to 15A for Toaster at the Northampton services because of vehicles broken down. In Mill Hill on the A1 Watford Way it's slow from the Apex corner towards the Broadway at Mill Hill Circus, and in Hatfield on the Great North Road there's roadworks at Southway making it look a little bit slow on the speed sensors. No reports of any major delays showing up though on the train departure boards. Samantha Brough, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30. I'm Jane Killick. A man says his partner has made over 100 calls to the police about nuisance off-road bikes and car racing in Dunstable since October. Kelvin Allen contacted this programme because the situation has hardly improved. Police in Buckinghamshire are investigating the unexplained death of a 17-year-old boy. Toby Fairclough suffered what police say was a medical condition in playing fields in North Marsden on Saturday lunchtime. Figures obtained by the BBC show more than 500,000 gas and electricity customers were forced to have prepayment meters installed in their homes. The energy regulator Ofgem has launched an investigation. The weather dry with some pleasant sunny periods. On to sport, and England's cricketers won the first test against New Zealand by 124 runs at Lord's. They bowled out the Black Caps for 220 runs in their second innings with 9.3 overs left on the final day. In football, Norwich City are back in the Premier League after a one-year absence. They beat Middlesbrough 2-0 in the Championship playoff final at Wembley. Wycombe Wanderers manager Gareth Ainsworth says they will bounce back from Saturday's League Two playoff defeat to Southend. The Chairboys lost 7-6 on penalties after drawing 1-1 after extra time. Here's manager Gareth Ainsworth.
You know, it's tough. One team has to lose, and it's a cruel way to do it. But we'll be back, and we've got a taste for this now. Don't worry, we'll be champing at the bit come August the 8th, and we're ready to go again.
Watford haven't commented on reports they're talking to Quique Sanchez-Flores about the head coach's job. They're said to have approached the former Atletico Madrid coach as talks with the current boss, Slavisa Jokanovic, reportedly hit an impasse. John Mooney of Watford podcast From the Rookery End says the fans have faith in the owners.
They know that they need to do things quickly because by the end of June, when the players start coming back, then they need their man in place. They need that sort of... we don't want to have that delay because we need to be ready for the first game of the Premier League, not the 5th game or the 10th game. So they are going to make the decision that's right for the football club.
And Derby County are looking for a new manager after sacking Steve McLaren. Derby were top of the Championship at the beginning of March, but faded away and missed out on the playoffs. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next bulletin is at 8.
There once was a wealthy man who had a wonderful idea to bring children from all places with all kinds of faces together into a sailing ship. There were 40 boys and girls. They would sail their ship around the globe, so they called it the United World. The ship was just 3 weeks from shore when a hurricane bore it down. The waves were big as mountains. They felt they would surely drown. They jumped into the lifeboats, rowed away from the wreck. They didn't count them, they hadn't time. 5 children were left behind. The children fought the storm all night and finally fell asleep. They didn't realize the ship had been blown across a reef into the lost islands. What? Hiding in the bushes was a watchful pair of eyes, and living in the valley were people lost in time, ruled over by a tyrant whose face was in a mask. The children must defeat him so they can escape at last from the lost islands. The lost islands.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
No more Littlest Hobo. In fact, if you we've deleted it from the computer system, and that's down to a caller Mark, I think it was, wasn't it? Who was
yes.
When has it gone? It's gone.
He was concerned about the hobo and about our use of it, so we responded to those concerns as only the BBC can.
And also, I've seen smaller hobos than that.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Unusual punishments. There's a story in one of the papers how a teacher in Turkey, there was a naughty kid, so he grabbed him by the head and cleaned his whiteboard with the child's head. I mean, don't see a problem with that. I had a teacher. We hung condoms off of his exhaust pipe, and we hung one from the door frame, and it hit his head, and everyone's laughing and stuff. It was me, and he made me sit out in the canteen with graph paper and put a tiny cross in every little square. It's insane,
yes.
but wonderful.
Yep, and of course I told you about my dad's finger of shame.
Yep. 08459 455 555 81333. Start your text 3CR. Have we got any texters?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Matt Lockwood talks sense re-Eurovision, says Dave from Hertford.
That Matt Lockwood rant there was like it was like
Alan Bennett.
It was
yeah.
Alan Bennett. He was Thora Hird, and it had been written by Alan Bennett.
Mm.
Well,
I said, have you got any white wine? She said no. I said, oh.
This story fascinates me.
Which one?
The biker that hit the little girl.
Right, go on.
Because you probably saw this. It was on the papers last week. A callous, cold, heartless cyclist dragged a toddler, what was she, 2?
Yeah.
Along
all the side of her face.
12 feet along the pavement.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I saw the video. I watched the video of it, because not everyone watched the video of it. It wasn't 12 feet. It was horrible.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have been on the pavement.
Did he stop?
I think he... well, I don't know. The story, I believe, was he stopped, he said something, and then he rode off.
Right.
It was horrible, okay? And of course it shouldn't have happened. But now it says here, biker in child hit run says life is ruined. The family of the cyclist who hit a toddler and dragged her along a pavement claims his life has been destroyed. Andrew Holland, 23, said footage which shows him colliding into 3-year-old Lucy Wilding has led to verbal attacks and threats. It was an accident, right? It was his fault. It was on the pavement. It was an accident.
And it was nasty.
It was nasty, right? I feel sorry for the cyclist. I feel really sorry for this cyclist. First of all, if you hit a kid, it's going to be really upsetting. Again, I'm not detracting from the fact it was his fault, okay? She ran out, he was on the pavement. It's going to be... that's an upsetting thing. He probably rode off because he was terrified, I would imagine. I'm making that up. But also, the Sun were hunting him. He's been in every newspaper. We know his name. We've all seen the picture of him.
He's been all over Twitter.
He's been followed. He's been on Twitter. every radio station has done a phone-in on, does this give a bad image to cyclists? What would you do to this man? What should happen to this man? You know, he has become a national pariah. He's been named and shamed. I bet his life has been, and we're all supposed to go, oh, idiot. Well, he's so good, I'm glad his life's ruined. No, I'm not. I bet his life has been ruined. He's 23. He's a kid, right? And I bet his life has been ruined. You know, we all know what he looks like. Imagine him turning up for a job. Hey, you're that idiot that knocked down that girl. Get out. You know, the abuse he must be getting.
Who's your new boyfriend? Oh, he's the idiot that knocked down that girl. It's not going to happen, is it?
He said he had apologised in an email to the family and twice gone to the police after Lucy was taken to hospital with cuts. Mum, Lauren Howarth, 26 at the time he started swearing, the next thing we knew he'd gone and we'd not heard from him since. His mum, Linda, said Dad, George, 64, was passing and picked him up. She said he owned up straight away. So there's difference of opinion there. Thank you, Matt. There's a difference of opinion there. I feel really sorry for the bloke.
Kid does stupid thing. It has a horrible consequence.
Yeah. Let them sort it out. Am I the only one feeling sorry for this cyclist? If I've got this completely wrong, could you set me straight? 084... See, we're doing a phone-in on him now. 08459 455 555. Let the family sort this out. If it goes to the police, let the police sort this out. If it doesn't, well, lesson learned, everybody. The little girl's alive and she's okay. That's the main thing.
There was another one yesterday. The woman who apparently nicked the kid's shirt while at the football match.
Oh.
Her picture's everywhere now, isn't it?
Now, this is on the same page. This is interesting, this. By the way, have I got this wrong about the cyclist? 08459 455 555. Footy mad lad, 8. Now, I would say this is different. Footy mad lad... Let's set the story, then we'll discuss it. Footy mad lad, 8, loses out on striker's top in ugly tug-of-war. A football-loving youngster who thought he'd bagged a Wembley goal scorer's shirt was in bits after it was torn from his grasp. And supporters were up in arms when the top appeared to be on sale online for £1,500 hours later. Ted Dockery, 8, was thrilled when he caught the shirt thrown into the crowd by Preston North End's Jermaine Beckford. As he sat down, he peeled his white top off and threw it towards a group of youngsters. Video footage shows Ted appearing to catch it. Moments later, he struggles with a woman dressed in pink. As stewards looked on, she's helped by a companion, a man in a grey tracksuit, who pulls the shirt from Ted's grasp and hands it to her. She insisted the lad was the son of friends and said, people have made me out to be an idiot. I'll be speaking to the family. I know them. They're friends. She added, my side of the story will soon come out. Ted's aunt said Ted was clearly the last one to have his hands on the shirt. Now, this is different. This is different because, I've seen some of the pictures, but I've not seen if the kid grabs it definitely and then a moment later she goes to take it. Because if she has, that's wrong, because that is stealing from a little kiddie, isn't it?
But...
Yes.
The principle is the same, isn't it? We're all acting as judge and jury, and I saw Kay Burley, for instance, yesterday tweeting with the hashtag shame on her.
Oh, Kay Burley, who takes great pride in telling people on live television their relatives have died. On live television, that woman says that. She's got no shame. But Kay Burley,
It's just the fact we all kind of weighed in on situations.
Yeah. Kay Burley shaming people, is she? Blimey. Well, Kay, why don't you go and find some people who don't know that their family have died and tell them on live television? Because she does that. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. You can text 81333, start your text 3CR. I do feel sorry for the lad on the bike.
I just get very uncomfortable when people start wading in. And you're flashing people's pictures around.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Oh, it's enough to make a horrible cup of coffee, Lockers. I'll flash his picture around. Any texts?
We've got one here. Hang on a second.
Go on.
From Tony. Iain, is the littlest hobo stranded on the Lost Island? I miss him. Matt Lockers talks absolute bovine manure. He puts me in a trance every time he talks. I nearly nod off.
Yeah, he talks.
Can you please ring a bell or blow a horn once he's finished so I can be awoken from the trance? Love, Tony.
Speaking of blowing horns,
yeah,
someone's had a tattoo done on their bum. I was at a do the other night at John Ronson, and this woman and I got talking. We found out we had something in common.
You both got tattoos.
And she said, have a look at my tattoo. I said, all right then. And it was on her bum. She pulled her trousers down. She had a, what do you call it? A bum, what do you call that? Is that a G-string?
Yes.
She had a G-string on. Oh, gosh. Look at Alice's face. Yeah, I know.
This is in a room with loads of people?
This was in a small theatre, yeah.
Right.
In front of about 250 people.
What was it you had in common? Underwear?
It was just incredible.
So what was the tattoo? Did you see it, or did you just?
Oh, I did see it. It was very upsetting. It was. I mean,
what was it?
I'll tell you off air. It was very upsetting.
It wasn't your face, was it?
No. I've been to concerts when I was into Kiss. You go to concerts and you get drunk Scottish men showing me their tattoos of Kiss. They'd have the fella had a tattoo of every member of Kiss. There've been about 9 members of Kiss over the years. He had a tattoo of every single one of them.
Gosh, that's dedication.
That's not dedication. That's a mental illness, isn't it? That's lunacy.
You never thought of getting a monkey on your bum?
Footy fan Neil Caborn, 39, had pal Simon Stevenson's first name, so Simon, tattooed on his bum after he bet Grimsby Town would get promoted. They didn't. Do you know what? You can do these bets and go, oh, actually, do you know what? I don't think I'm going to do it. I had a woman when I worked at Absolute Radio wanted to get my name tattooed on her bum. And I thought she was joking. Then she sent me a picture of her left cheek, and she had another presenter's name on there, who I knew was about to get sacked. And I said I forbade her from putting my name on her, but I forbade her from doing it.
I don't think you're allowed to, but she listened, did she?
And then in The Sun, they've got another. If you go back a few pages, they've got. It's not connected, but they've got a list of people who've made promises. Who've said, if this such and such happens, then I'll do this. Never. Why would you? No, don't do that. George Osborne was made to keep his promise to Kiss campaign chief Linton Crosby. Oh, boys! Is Linton the boy? He's the Australian for, isn't he?
I guess.
He's the Australian for. Oh, boys!
Just Google.
Gayness in the Tory party? No! Never. He is. He's the Australian guy that advises David Cameron. If the Conservatives won a majority. Here are more famous faces who have made bets most lived to regret.
Paddy Ashdown said he'd eat his hat, didn't he?
Yeah, in the end he ate a chocolate hat. That doesn't count. As I said this, Werner Herzog, the I think he's German film director, said if something happens, I'll eat my shoe. Something happened, and there's he made a brilliant film about it, of him eating a shoe in front of an audience, and it gets cooked, and he sits there and he eats the leather of the shoe. Goodness. And it's wonderful. Yeah, so Paddy Ashdown ate a chocolate hat. We've met Pat. We got kicked out of a room for Paddy Ashdown, didn't we?
Yeah.
Big man, powerful man.
I wouldn't ask him to eat a hat. I wouldn't dare.
The thing is, he could eat a hat.
Yeah.
He could eat a hat. I've started collecting hats. You saw the hats I got yesterday. We're in a field in Henley. I took the boys to Henley yesterday just because it was a nice cinema and it's a nice day, and we went and played cricket. It was really nice. We had a lovely day, actually. And just in the middle of the field, there was this stall selling stuff for lifeboats, and it was mainly crockery and some rubbish books. But as we were leaving, they had 2 straw boaters. I thought,
I know 2 heads that could do with those.
2 heads. And I said, how much are your hats? Thinking, they'll be like a £5 each. She said, £1 each. I went, boom. I'll have them. Boys, come here. And so the boys are walking around Henley wearing straw boaters.
Nice.
Fantastic. I'm a bit gutted because I did want one for myself. I do like a nice hat. And I'm going to start... I used to have a wonderful hat collection.
Did you have a sailor's hat?
Never got the sailor's hat. Never got the captain's hat. But I had one of those hats, the shopkeeper from Mr. Bent, one of those kind of hats. I think
fez?
No. It was like soft... and it had a tassel on it.
Oh, yes.
And it was my writing hat.
Yes, like a smoking hat.
Yeah, smoking hat. And it worked. The reason you have a thinking caps work because they put pressure on the head and it helps you think. It stimulates the brain.
Really?
Oh, that's a fact. That's a fact. Honestly, it's like if you get a headache, the best thing to do is to put pressure on your head because it helps move the blood around and it relieves pressure. The same thing if you're struggling to think, bit of pressure on the head. Oh. Thinking caps work. I think that's true. I may have just dreamt that. I don't know. Anyway, it worked for me. 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25, there are queues anti-clockwise between junction 21 for the M1 and 15 for the M4, and it's busy now on the A40 Western Avenue towards from the M40 at the Denham roundabout towards the M25. That's looking really slow on the speed sensors. In Mill Hill on the A1 Watford Way, that's busy southbound from the Apex corner at the A41 towards the Broadway at Mill Hill Circus, and in East Hyde on London Road, the temporary traffic lights are causing some slight queues at Newlands Road. On the trains, Great Northern have delays through Gordon Hill because of a signalling problem, so they might be cancelled at short notice. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. 7:47 or thereabouts. It's Tuesday, the 26th of May. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A Dunstable man has told this programme how he's frustrated about the lack of police action over nuisance off-road bikes. A 17-year-old boy has died in Buckinghamshire after taking what he believed was a recreational drug. And an investigation has been launched into the number of people forced to have prepaid gas and electricity meters in their homes. Let's get the weather.
Beds, Hearts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thanks very much indeed. Yes, we are looking at a better day, I think, today than we had yesterday. We've just got a bit more in the way of brightness to come through. A bit more sunshine. Temperatures do better. 18 Celsius is our high. We're dry with sunny spells. Don't be surprised to see a bit of cloud bubbling up in the middle part of the afternoon, but it should melt away again to give us a fine evening with sunshine to end the day as well. Now, gardeners beware. Temperatures slipping well down into single figures overnight. We're looking at lows comfortably in our towns of 6 or 7 degrees, but it will be colder in our normal prone rural spots, so something to worry about, gardeners. Tomorrow morning we start dry, sunny but cool obviously, and then we're looking at another dry day with some cloud around but some sunny spells and a top temperature of 16 degrees. We get thicker cloud moving in the afternoon because we've got a weather front moving towards us from the west. It's pretty light and patchy by the time it gets to us, but we'll introduce some rain through the evening and overnight into Thursday. The temperatures then will stay up overnight into Thursday. Thursday we'll have quite a lot of dry and bright weather at times. It'll be breezy though, a fairly noticeable westerly wind and the risk of some showers, and some heavy showers around for Friday, which could have some hail and thunder mixed in. The temperature's taking a bit of a knock on Friday at 13 or 14 Celsius, but actually a lot of dry weather in the forecast, certainly for today, tomorrow and into Thursday too.
Thank you very much.
Sometimes in life, things don't always go to plan.
It worked perfectly for 2.5, 3 years till 2 days ago.
He should refund me £1,900.
Which is where we come in.
We managed to get them to agree to come back in to the property on an agreed date.
The JVS show takes on your consumer problems.
I've basically lost the whole lot in administration charges.
And helps to get to the right solution.
I've received a cheque back for £578.
Jonathan, I can't thank you enough. I don't know how you do what you do, you and your team.
The JVS show, weekdays from 9, here on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Delia, I've got an interesting one for you, but which we'll go to in a second. But story in the paper today, and I kind of let me find it and read it because it's only tiny. Where was it?
It's quite a remarkable story when you consider it is the year 2015. To be fair,
well, it's Turkey, so it's still the year 1560 over there, I think.
It's on page 23 of the Sun.
A teacher was filmed using a struggling pupil's head to clean his whiteboard in Ankara, Turkey. And there are many people saying he is an Ankara in Turkey for doing this. Listen, if he was serious head on for a second, guys. If he was struggling, then of course that's no way to deal with a young person who's struggling. But it's still brilliant, isn't it? It's genius.
Well, I would probably question why the head and not the tongue. Do you know what I'm saying?
Are we still talking about the same story, Justin, or are we talking about your weekend?
No, the same story. I mean, obviously, if you've got somebody's head by a whiteboard, surely it will be better to use their tongue to get it off. No?
Justin, don't be giving people ideas.
I'm just saying.
The thing is, though, because blackboard, whiteboard, no, because that's pen, and it's just not as effective, is it? Is it with the whiteboard? It needs to be dry. It needs to be dry.
Okay.
Blackboard, it can be wet.
Yeah.
Whiteboard dry, blackboard wet. Remember that, Justin, and you'll go far in life. Did you must have been getting in trouble all the time at school?
When I was at school, we knew how to play it. I mean, obviously, when I was at school, I was quite a bad lad, but things had changed by then. So we knew as kids that we could practically get away with whatever we wanted.
Kids these days literally get away with murder in schools, don't they? Unbelievable. Makes you want to puke.
Unbelievable.
You've taken this to the street, so we're calling it imaginative punishments because maybe celebrating cruel and outdated punishments was a little bit harsh.
Yeah. I've taken this one to the streets. I mean, I would class all of these as cruel punishments because none of them have happened to me. Trust me, this morning, you do not want the Gambia perspective on the streets, okay? Because if I was to play the Gambia perspective this morning, we wouldn't be here tomorrow.
Wow, okay.
Some unbelievable stories there. So here's what people had to to say this morning about cruel and unusual punishments.
Taking it to the streets with J-Dog.
Anything happened to you at school or in your childhood which was a cruel and unusual punishment for something that you'd done?
I had to stand outside the staff room for 4 months at breaks and dinner time for something I didn't do.
Come on, 4 months?
Yeah, and I was put in the bottom stream of education. I was in the top stream and they put me in the bottom stream for 4 months.
What an unusual punishment. I can understand maybe a day, but 4 months? What were you accused of doing?
I was a prefect and a gang of girls decided to throw another girl in the swimming pool and I was meant to stop them. There was 12 of them and me, so I didn't. So I got punished.
So you didn't stop them, so you were in the wrong?
I'd have got thrown in if I'd have tried to stop them and I can't swim.
Gemma, you old potty mouth you. So when you were younger, you used to swear quite a bit. What was the punishment?
Soap in the mouth, on the toothbrush.
On the toothbrush. Did it make you stop?
No, not really.
I mean, looking back now, do you think it was a bit cruel, or do you think, do you know what, I deserve that?
Yeah, I did. I think, do you know what? I did deserve it. You shouldn't swear.
What a waste of a good toothbrush. Thank you very much.
No worries.
At school, first of all, a teacher tied you to a chair.
Yeah.
What had you done wrong?
Disrupting the class, just messing about with the other lads.
Okay. How long were you tied to the chair for?
A couple of hours.
How tight was the?
Well, you couldn't get your legs out. You know, like little wooden chairs. They tie your ankles round the two legs there and tie your hands behind your back to the bottom run at the back. They had two straps at the back of it. They tie your hands to that and tie your feet to the legs.
Wow, I mean that sounds terrifying.
Yeah, that was in the 60s. They were allowed to do it then.
Okay, and you've got another story about when you was in a care home. What happened there?
They made me clean Stone Lion about 3 o'clock in the morning with a toothbrush because I was messing about at night with one of the lads running around.
I mean, looking back now, that's pretty brutal.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it to my kids.
The Stone Lion one, yeah, problem? What's the problem with that?
Come on, it's not happened to me. That's cruel.
He was messing around.
He's with a toothbrush.
Well, he's messing around he was in the middle of the night. Yeah, get out there, do something.
Keep him busy.
Yeah.
Private Benjamin. I saw that in Private Benjamin, the film. I never thought something like that actually happened in real life.
Yeah, it's called Jankers. Have you heard about that?
No.
Yeah, punishments in the army or the forces.
Yeah, so
horrible.
And also, the woman that, the woman who was swearing, Catherine, she learnt the wrong lesson, hadn't she?
Yeah. The lesson is, because I've had that lesson as well, don't swear in front of your mum.
That's the lesson, don't swear in front of your mum.
Or you get soap on a toothbrush.
I didn't get a toothbrush, I had the bar of soap thrust onto my teeth.
None of this stuff has happened to me, guys.
It can do. If you play your cards right, Justin, it can do.
After the programme.
What was the Gambian perspective?
The Gambian perspective, very briefly, as a child, he disobeyed his parents and was taken into the local village there, where there was a crowd of people in a circle, and he was beaten with sticks for an hour.
Good grief.
That's the Gambian perspective.
Now, there will be people listening going, yeah, fair play. They know exactly what they're doing over in that Gambia. There will be.
Come on, that is horrific.
There will be people go, well, it happened to me. It never did me any harm.
What, with a circle of people watching and a bonfire as well?
Well, you didn't mention the bonfire.
You didn't mention the bonfire,
The
Justin.
bonfire wasn't in the middle, but there was a bonfire there. This was a village event.
What was the bonfire there for? Heat or illumination or torture?
It was just part of the vibe. I think it was just part of the vibe.
Ritual.
If kids did something wrong, they took them into the village, they got a big circle of people, and they used to beat them with sticks.
I used to get slapped round the head when I was a kid. Never did me no harm. It's all those people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Justin.
Yeah.
Can you take this to the streets? The thing we were talking about earlier on. Did you see the story last week about the young lad on a bicycle who knocked down that 3-year-old girl and dragged her along the street? Big story, pictures of it everywhere. The first day it was out, I think it was maybe Tuesday or Wednesday last week. No one knew the guy's name. Who is this guy? The son said, find this man, let's find him. Well, they found him, and he's called Andrew Holland. He's 23. And I suggest you watch the footage before you go out, because the footage it's horrible, and he was an idiot for riding on the pavement. But it was an accident. And he's now been named and shamed. I mean, we're doing a phone-in about him. Every radio station last week was doing a phone-in. Does this bring cyclists into disrepute? What punishment should this man have? He's been shamed in the papers, OK? And it's... I feel sorry for him.
Really?
I do feel sorry for him, yeah. He did something stupid.
Yeah.
Let the police sort it out. We don't need to drag him through the papers. I mean, I know I'm kind of perpetuating it slightly, so there's a contradiction there. But I feel sorry for the fella.
I'll need to watch the footage, but, I mean, My perspective would be every single person in life, doesn't matter who you are, we all make mistakes. And we live in a society now where everything is filmed, so if you have done something, it's going to be picked up. If he's made a mistake and he's genuinely sorry about that, maybe we should kind of, let it go.
Have a look at the video, read the story, get a bit of background on the story and take it to the streets. Do people feel sorry for this guy? They'll know that most of them will know the story, I think, because it was really big news last week.
Yep, leave it to me.
Cheers, Justin.
Thank you.
Thank you, mate. He's good, Dealey.
He's really
good.
I'm just watching that footage.
Of what?
Of the lad ploughing the kid down.
Oh, have you not seen it?
No.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Good grief.
Look at the dad that goes and jumps over.
I know.
I mean...
You would, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course you would. Oh, of course you would. And you'd be furious. And you'd be right to be furious.
Can I be picky? And this is not blaming the parents at all.
Yep.
I'd be holding a hand next to that road, wouldn't you?
Not from the gate to the car.
Gate to the car.
It's gate to the car. It's a wide pavement. It's gate to car. I would let my 3-year-old
follow behind you?
I would let my 3-year-old follow behind me. Dad's obviously behind her off camera.
That's nasty.
Mum's at the car with her back turned, if I remember correctly. I would let that kid walk to that car, yeah. I know he did.
But, oh my goodness, that's nasty.
It's horrible. I mean, it's horrible. And thank God she's okay, Some scuffs and some scratches. I feel sorry for the bloke. He's been punished. And I mean, if the police are going to get involved, then let them punish him if they feel it's appropriate.
You can't see what happened after, though, can you?
No. 08459 455 555. Do you feel sorry for the cyclist? Do you think he's, I was going to say, been dragged through the mud enough? Not really appropriate when that little girl was dragged. But do you feel sorry for him, or do you think he gets everything he deserves?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25, there's a lane blocked clockwise at junction 24 for Potters Bar to junction 25 for Enfield because of an accident involving a car and a lorry. On the M40 towards London, it's slow at junction 2 for Beaconsfield, and it's also looking really busy around the M40 Denham roundabouts. In Chicheley, on the A509, there is a lane blocked by an accident at the turning for the A422. That's causing delays all the way from the High Street towards Newport Pagnell. And on the trains, Great Northern have delays through Gordon Hill because of a signalling problem, so they might be cancelled or delayed or revised at a short notice. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much, Sammy. So far, a couple of things cooking away, bubbling away, feeling hot. Unusual punishments you may have received at school. And do you feel... this is a weird sentence. Do you feel sorry for the guy that was riding a bike on the pavement and dragged a 3-year-old girl a few feet along? Do you feel sorry for him? 08459 455 555. Here's Jane Killick with the news.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock. I'm Jane Killick. The headlines. Dunstable man feeling ignored over nuisance off-road bikes. Police investigation over unexplained death in Buckinghamshire, and jail for High Wycombe arsonist.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A man from Dunstable says he feels residents are being ignored after his partner made more than 100 calls to police about nuisance bikes. He says the noise from the off-road bikes and car races are keeping him awake at night, and he wants Bedfordshire Police to do more. Kelvin Allen says he's most worried about the danger.
By sort of early afternoon, there's at least 50 children here. They're always milling about on here, and it just worries me that someone is going to get run over before anything's done about it. I mean, you can see all the black tyre marks on the tarmac. So yeah, I'm just worried for the children really more than anything, and obviously my sleep.
Police have launched an investigation over the death of a 17-year-old boy in Buckinghamshire. It's thought Toby Fairclough took an illegal drug before collapsing in playing fields in North Marsden. Craig Lewis reports.
Detectives are treating Toby Fairclough's death as unexplained, but they think he took what he believed to be ecstasy late on Friday night or early Saturday morning. He was taken to hospital on Saturday lunchtime after suffering what police call a medical condition, but died. A 17-year-old boy from Buckingham has been arrested on suspicion of supplying a controlled drug and released on police bail.
There's been a significant rise in the number of people having prepayment gas and electricity meters forcibly installed in their homes. The energy regulator Ofgem has begun an investigation. Audrey Gallagher from Citizens Advice says people should seek help before debts get out of hand.
Anybody with a debt can have a prepayment meter installed so long as the supplier has gone to court and got a warrant to enter the property. It's usually a last resort. That's why I would always say to people, don't let it get to that stage. Speak to the company, because prepayment meters are the most expensive payment method, around £80 a year more expensive than paying by direct debit.
Changes to the law on 0 hours contracts in the UK come into force today. Employers can no longer prevent those employed on such deals from working elsewhere. It's thought 125,000 people currently have so-called exclusivity clauses. Downing Street says David Cameron has told the President of the European Commission, Jean-Claude Juncker, that the EU needs to address the concerns of the British people. The two men held 3 hours of talks at Chequers last night. A High Wycombe man's been jailed for more than 9 years after admitting to arson. In February, 29-year-old Richard Thomas opened the window of a flat on West Wycombe Road and set fire to the curtains. It was put out by the fire brigade, but Thomas returned the next day and started another fire. 5 residents were evacuated from the building and treated for smoke and minor burns. In cricket, it's thought the Australian Trevor Bayliss will be announced as the new England head coach today. The England and Wales Cricket Board are in exclusive discussions with their preferred candidate. The weather dry today with a mix of cloud and pleasant sunny spells with a high of 18 Celsius. And get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3counties.
Morning, guys. Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Let's get those pictures up on Twitter, shall we? Next story we're doing is very visual. It involves some pictures. So let's put them up on Twitter, at BBC3CR, at Iain Lee. Give us 2 minutes. Really good to get your opinions on. I'm going to show you some costumes that have caused controversy. I'd like to know your thoughts, please. Also, this hour, we've been asking unusual punishments. A teacher it's in Turkey. I suspect this is the least they get. Kid wasn't getting it, so the teacher grabbed him by the head and cleaned the whiteboard with his head. Your unusual punishments, please. 08 459 455 555. And also, the fella... Big story last week, and I kind of deliberately avoided it, but in thinking about it, the fella last week, riding on the pavement on his bicycle, knocked a 3-year-old girl over and dragged her along. Horrible, horrible. His fault, he's an idiot. But do you feel sorry for him? I'm going to leave it at that, and we'll explain it as the show goes on and get your thoughts. 08 459 455 555, text 81333, start your text 3CR.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Okay, we're going to put those pictures on in the next couple of minutes. Yeah. Alice is doing that. Okay, you've given it to a young person. I saw you trying to do it, Catherine.
No, I was going to do it from my account, but it's probably best from the 3CR.
You didn't know how to do it.
I do know how to do it.
You didn't know how to do it?
I do.
You struggled? Well, you didn't.
I'm not struggling.
You struggled. Has Alice done it?
No, she's struggling.
She's not. No, don't. Alice is... I like Alice.
Thanks. And you don't like me?
No. Alice is one of the 3 people at BBC Three Counties Radio that I like.
Right. Wow. The others are?
I'm not saying that on air, mate. It's rude not to say it. It's rude to say it while they're not here. 08459 455 558. Alice, literally just shout out with joy when you've got it done, okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much indeed. Let's crack on with this weekend. Hundreds of people took part in the Luton Carnival. Most people had a brilliant time if you went. Hey, yeah? Nice one. But there was one group from London who came away feeling, disappointed. Hayley Jones is from Hype Masquerades to explain more. Morning, Hayley.
Morning.
What happened?
Basically, we had a few technical issues with the speaker boxes because the straps were coming off. So instead of us carrying on down the road and then letting the speaker boxes fall off,
yes,
we decided to kind of stop and let the other trucks go in front of us.
Okay, so it's been a long time since I've been to any form of carnival. So this is like on the back of a truck, and you'd have music playing, loads of people on there dancing and waving at the crowds as you drive through. Is that right?
Correct, yeah,
okay, and your speakers weren't secured safely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we decided to pull over. Obviously, we had spoken to the steward and security, and they had radioed ahead of time, so everybody knew what the situation was. Okay.
Yeah.
So after that happened, we approached Judging Point. I then managed to speak to Cleon Lord and Hype from Hype Masqueraders to let them know we had reached Judging Point and to get everybody ready, like all the Hype Masqueraders, to get ready to go on stage. At this point, I was approached by Clary, who is the artistic director.
Who we're going to speak to in a couple of minutes, yeah.
Yeah. She approached me. And on her approach, she said to me, "Your name's not on the list." And she looked down her clipboard. "Your name's not on the list," but I could clearly see our name was on the list because I looked down on the actual sheet that she had. And she made a comment and said that our costumes were crap and that we was not going on stage. At that moment, I had asked her reasons why. She did not want to reply to me, and she walked off. By that time, Hype had come over and tried to talk to her, and it was the same response he got, and she just carried on walking off. So, it was very disappointing that we couldn't cross the stage.
Just sorry to interrupt, Haley, just because we are hoping to speak to Clary, and Clary was just on the line, and obviously something happened because her line has dropped off. Clary, we're trying to call you, but your line's engaged. So if you could just do us a favour and put your landline down, because obviously there's been some kind of technical issue, maybe our end, maybe your end, and we just want to get you on. So just put your phone down, Clary, and we'll give you a call in a second. Okay. So carry on, Haley.
And then after that, Hype had gone over to try and sort things out. Obviously, she still said, "You're not going on stage, you're not spoiling my finale show." Now, the band that was last and that was on the stage already, I think, was Rampage. Now, to me, that sounds very bad. It sounds very unprofessional about what she's actually said to us. Okay, as a new band, coming all the way from London, I mean, why would we come all the way to Luton not to go past Judging Point or not to show our costumes? And I think that was a bit of discrimination. Obviously, Hype Masqueraders, we strongly believe in equality and diversity. We believe in, treating everybody as an individual, regardless of, race, sex, disability.
So just to summarise, Haley, you're suggesting that Clary said that your costumes were, quotes, and the last time we used this word, crap.
Yep.
And that you weren't on the list, even though you could see you were on the list, and they weren't going to put you on because they didn't want you to ruin their carnival. Is that right?
Exactly, the finale.
Haley, stay there. I want to managed to get Clary back. Clary, artistic director of the carnival. Clary, you've heard the accusations. What's your response?
Well, actually, we got cut off, so I didn't really hear everything she said.
I can recap again.
I heard you just now with your recap.
Okay.
Firstly, I never spoke to Haley. I don't even know who Haley is. And I had no discussion with her, and I never said to anybody that the costumes were crap. I don't use that language. And anybody who knows you will tell you that I would never have said that, because I'm always very careful. I don't even judge in things because I don't like to have a I don't like to criticize other people's work because I'm a designer myself. What we did was, the issue here isn't anything to do with their costumes at all. If they have taken money from people, and they should have been responsible, and they should have made sure that their truck was ready and secure so that they could deliver the infrastructure to the expectations of the group which they had invited and the money they had taken from those people. They didn't do that. And as a result of that, issues down the line, by the time they got to where I was, at the Ram stage, the finale was on, and the next thing that is prepared is standing waiting to go on after Rampage. At that point, I had already had to cut. Several groups going over did not have the time that they were meant to be. Rhythms of the City came all the way from London. They, instead of having 4 minutes, had 2 minutes. Other groups, Mahogany came from London. Instead of having 4 minutes, they had 3 minutes. Get across the stage quickly because we needed to go, because this year we did not have the funding to do the sound sites in the way we normally do. and as the St George's Square is a sound site, we had to make sure the parade got over as quickly as we can, so we could hand back that site to the sound site.
Let me interrupt because there are several things.
Can I finish?
No, Clary. I'm going to come in because there are several things that both of you have said that I'd like to pick up on. Firstly, you're saying that you never said the costumes were crap and that you didn't want them ruining your carnival. Okay.
I did not say what I said. Is that the finale is on, and you will not be able to go. And I never told, and I didn't even speak to her.
Okay.
So you can't say that I said that because somebody's reporting to her.
Okay.
What they think is their opinion.
Okay, Clary.
And had they been on time, they would have been across the stage in those same costumes, and there would be no issue.
And I'm going to go back
That is what this is about.
Thank you. I'm going to go back to Hayley in a second. So please don't think this is completely one-sided. But why was it organised so badly that you'd mistimed how much time people will get on stage? Clary?
Sorry?
How would you manage to mistime?
I didn't mistime anything. Haley,
are you responsible? Are you responsible for how much time people had on stage?
No, we are responsible for the way in which the parade happened.
No, Clary, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Excellent.
you.
Okay. You said that some people weren't allowed on stage. Let's forget Hayley for the moment.
No,
you said
there wasn't any. I didn't say that.
Okay, you said
that we were given in my ears from security.
Right.
I'm getting instructions.
Clary, can I please put a point to you, and can you listen to it, please? Sorry. You said that some people... OK, I must have misheard you then. I thought you said that some people weren't allowed on stage, but you did say...
we give them less time.
Yeah, OK. Well, that's... how come it was organised so badly that people got less time than they were promised on stage?
It wasn't that it was organised so badly. It was raining, and so there were health and safety issues that we had to deal with throughout the procession, to do with the stage, to ensure everybody was safe on the stage.
What was the health and safety factor, Clary, that meant that they didn't get the... Clary, can I finish a question, please? Please. Clary, can I finish a question? It's very frustrating. What was the health and safety that meant instead of having 4 minutes on a stage, someone got 3 minutes on a stage?
Because at the very start of the parade, when people were coming off the stage, it was raining and we had to be very, very careful.
So they had to go quicker on the stage?
Had to be slowed up. You couldn't come onto the stage very quickly. Everybody had to be more careful, going on the ramp and coming off the ramp.
So you gave them less time?
We had to take extra care. And so we were being more careful. And in doing so, to ensure that everything is still running, we had to ensure that people were actually getting on and off more carefully.
By giving them less time to do it?
So, no, what you had to do is manage them carefully so that they could have a good performance and get on and off the stage safely, and that's what we were doing.
By giving them less time to do it?
The problem, we didn't... Yes, some groups... for whom going on stage was not a priority, because they weren't being judged. They weren't having.
I wonder how, Clary, how rushing them makes it safer to go. Well, you said that they'd gone from 3 minutes to 2 minutes.
I said we were being careful to ensure everybody's safety
by giving them less time to be on stage.
No, I said some groups we were discussed with them, and some. So, for example, I have a group myself. And I managed my group across the stage to ensure that all the groups coming through were going to have their time. What happened here is that we had got to our time, and this group was outside of their time. They weren't in the right place, and had they been there, there wouldn't be any issue.
OK, let me go back to... Clary, let me go back to Hayley. Hayley, a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
Did you speak to Clary or not?
I did speak to Clary.
Because she says that you didn't, and she says that she didn't say that the costumes were crap.
Right. The first person she approached was myself, because I was right at the front of the truck. I was the only person she approached at that time. I did, however, have another colleague next to me, Clarkie, who was also wearing a high-vis, so she actually approached me first of all. She wanted to know the name of the band. She looked down and she said, "This band is not on my list." Now, I'm not being funny. Obviously, I know I spoke to her because she was the only one at that point in time, and we know that she's the artistic director. Okay, so I did speak to her. Don't know if she's forgotten, but I haven't forgotten. I wouldn't forget speaking to somebody and telling them, and them telling me that my band is not on the list and you're not spoiling my finale show.
Have you forgotten, Clary?
Well, I don't remember speaking to her. I remember speaking to a young man who, I said, "Who's your name?" I can't remember his name now. I looked at what was going on the stage, looked at my time, and it was time for us to give it back to the Sounds Forum, and that's what we had to do. And there was never been any issue. If the truck had been ready and in the place, they would have gone over, no problem. At that point, I had a decision to make, and I had to make the decision.
So you did speak to Hayley?
I don't know if I spoke to Hayley.
Because you said, you said you definitely didn't, but now you're saying you might have done.
I don't know who Hayley is. You're telling me this is somebody's name. I don't know who Hayley is. What I remember is speaking to a gentleman very clearly and explaining.
Oh, we've lost Clary again. Get Clary back. Jonathan, could you come back after 5:30? Sorry. Get Clary back. Hayley, Clary did raise an interesting point.
Mm-hmm.
In the, how many people did you have on your float?
Right, let me just pass you over to Cleon Lord.
Why?
I'm the band's director. Sorry about that. Good morning to everyone.
Sorry, why am I not speaking to Hayley anymore?
Oh, I see you want to speak to you.
Okay. Hello?
Hello, yeah. How many people did you have on the float?
How many people we had on the float?
Yeah.
What do you mean, in hype masqueraders and in costumes, or as in...
How many people did you charge 50 quid a pop to be on your float?
How many people did we charge? £50. 30 people.
30 people times 50. Catherine, you do the maths. It's too early for me. That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, yeah.
Yeah. Why was your float not ready then?
Well, it was ready.
Well, it wasn't, was it?
What happened is one of the straps came loose. Sometimes it can happen. So, we decided to strap it up again.
But why was it... But surely... why was your float not ready? If you're charging 50 quid a pop and you've got 30 people, that's £1,500, my slow maths has just worked out. You weren't providing them with what they were expecting.
Well, no, we done an announcement, so they were fully aware.
But if I was paying 50 quid to appear on the back of a float in a costume, I would expect that float to be road and indeed carnival ready.
Yeah, it's not to say they didn't have music or anything like that.
Hang on a second, sorry, Clary, put your phone down. Blimey. Say that again, sorry, Hayley.
I said it's not to say they didn't have music or anything like that.
No, but the float wasn't ready.
We were still moving along.
But you had to pull over and let everyone else pass you.
Yeah, because we didn't want to take a chance in, if
so the float wasn't ready?
If somebody was working on the actual speaker, and strapping across, you can't then let a truck move.
No, of course not. But it should have been fastened correctly before you moved, before those people even got there.
And at the same point, what I do want to go back to is why there wasn't a contingency plan for people that was late.
Oh yeah, we'll go on to that in a second. I want to know why you were charging people 50 quid a pop for a float that wasn't carnival worthy.
Well, it was. It
wasn't, Hayley. The speaker wasn't strapped down. It wasn't safe.
That was a health and safety issue.
Yeah, I know, and I'm glad you strapped it down. Why wasn't it strapped down safely before?
Sometimes these things can just happen.
Sometimes the strap can just come undone.
Yeah, sometimes it can do. It depends.
Wow.
If you double strap the speakers, yes, it can happen.
Okay.
It depends in which way. Everybody has their own individual way in strapping down.
And is one way better than the other way? Yeah.
It depends on what kind of speakers you've got again.
Right. So, but is there one way that's kind of better than the other way, more reliable?
Not really.
Because you don't hear about speakers coming unstrapped or falling off floats very often. It just seems that if you're charging, 1,500 quid, I just don't understand why you hadn't strapped the. How much money are you going to give back to the people?
How much money are we going to give back? We'll give back a refund of £20.
And have you told everyone that's what you're going to do?
They will be getting that, yeah.
Okay. When did you decide that? Just now?
No, yesterday we decided
and
that.
You've told everybody that was on the float they're going to get 20 quid back?
They'll get 20 quid back.
You've told them that?
Correct. Yes.
And they're all happy with that?
Yes, they would be.
Well, you've definitely told them?
Yes, we have told them.
Okay. Because part of me is thinking, Hayley, chinny rack on. Yeah, that you've just realised that maybe you weren't providing the service that perhaps you should, and it's just popped in. So if we were to speak to somebody that was on the back of that float, they would have got, a phone call, email from you yesterday saying they're going to get 20 quid back?
Some of them have been unable to be reachable, but we are sending out emails today.
How many did you reach yesterday?
A few.
If it was not Hayley, if it was none, just say it was none. Come on, listen, guys.
No, it was a few yesterday. A few of them yesterday.
Okay.
But it does take some time to try and do these things.
Okay. Do you have any sympathy for Clary, who was organising? It's a big thing organising something like this. And if people are turning up and their trucks aren't ready and there's bits that might fall off and they've got to stop and pull over and Clary's gone to a lot of work to organise this and plan this, and it's like a military operation. If you're causing problems, have you got any sympathy for Clary, who was trying to get this show on?
I do, in a sense. I do. Having said that, her reasons were not stated as to why we did not go on the stage.
You were late. Your truck wasn't ready and you were late.
But for some reason, I don't understand. We, in Notting Hill Carnival, this doesn't happen.
Notting Hill Carnival, with the greatest of respect to Luton Carnival, it's like about 100 times bigger and better. And no disrespect to anyone organising this, but Notting Hill Carnival is massive. People come from all over the world for this. This is Luton Carnival.
Yeah.
And it's disappointing, but there was the truck broke down. Let's be generous. Let's say it's it wasn't a mistake. That it was just one of those things. Can you really blame Clary for saying, "Look, I'm sorry. The speaker was going to come off. You had to stop and strap it on. We haven't got the time to get you on. Rampage, you're on."
Yeah. My point is, why make a comment about what she said? Why make that comment? There was no need to make that comment. All she needed to say was, "Okay, I'm sorry, Hype Masqueraders. At this point in time, you've reached judging point late. You cannot cross the stage. I am really sorry about that." Yeah. That's all she needed to say. But what she did say, and obviously I didn't like it, and nor did the directors of the band. They did not like that.
Her saying that the costumes were crap?
Yeah, that the costumes were crap.
Hand on heart, Hayley.
The finale.
Hand on heart. Hand on heart. Look me in the eyes.
Mhm.
Did she really say the costumes
She
were
did.
crap?
Hand on heart. Hand on heart. And that's me being very honest.
On your mother's life?
On my mother's life.
Clary, on your mother's life?
On my mother's life, I would swear, and you know what? Even so, I'm going to swear on my daughter's life. Okay.
Okay, well, I wouldn't ask you.
I'm swearing on my daughter's life, okay,
right.
and I'm telling you this is what she said.
All right.
And it's not only myself that heard it. When she was standing next to me and she was talking to me and she looked down the list, there was a crowd of people behind me.
Yeah.
Now, the crowd at this point were absolutely, they were, like, why are you not going on? They heard what was going on. It's not to say that
Hayley,
I'm making this up.
Hayley, you've said, okay. Clary.
Hello.
You've heard what Hayley said. Now, come on, you were stressed. It was a busy day. The weather wasn't quite what you hoped for. Lots of people, shouting, running around, and people turning up late. And it's I respect to you for organising this. Is there a chance that you might have said the costumes were crap?
I don't think so, because I have been.
You don't think so?
No, I can't remember doing that.
No, and that's fine. You can't remember. You saying you can't remember implies there might be a chance.
Well, no, I don't.
She's just sworn on her daughter's life.
I did say to them that it couldn't go on because we've got the finale on, and I can't deal with it. I said, look and see, look ahead of you, see what's going on. That is what. Yes, I did say it would spoil the finale, and on top of that, the time had gone, and before they even gone past, there was the next performance was on the stage, waiting to start. They were at the corner, and the girl had started her performance. We couldn't do the time at that time, and I can't accept responsibility because they didn't get where to do what they should have done with their infrastructure. We could have, at that point, when they pulled aside, said, sorry, you can't continue in the parade. Instead, we made a decision that we would let them continue. So in the interest of all the people that they had brought, to continue through. And had they been on time in the right place, then they would have gone on the stage, wouldn't they?
Hayley, do you accept that? If you'd have been on time...
That is what would have happened.
Do you accept... Let's put the bad language to one side. Do you accept, Hayley, had you been there on time, you could have gone on the stage, and that it was unfortunate that you couldn't?
No, Most probably, yes.
All right.
Most probably, yes.
Listen, both of you, I really appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming on and discussing this. Hayley, well done for sorting
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you, Clary. Well done, Hayley, for sorting out the costumes, by the way. They're not crap. We got a picture of them. We just tweeted them. They're brilliant, the costumes. So well done. They're brilliant, Hayley. And well done for saying that you're going to give refunds of £20 to everyone who paid. Clary, thank you. And well done you for organising, the artistic director. Is that the correct title? Artistic director of the Luton Carnival. It's not an easy job. It's a big gig. And it sounds like an absolute flipping nightmare, if you ask me. Absolute flipping nightmare. I wouldn't want it. That was Hayley Jones from Hype Masquerades and Clary Salandy, artistic director of the Carnival, and some bloke. Thank you for that. 08459 455 555. DJ Al's on the line. Morning, DJ Al.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, boss. What you got?
What have I got? Well, I was one of the DJs that was on not on the stage, but doing the music for the carnival procession.
Yes.
And playing music, in between, the different sections of performance.
Yeah.
And what how I felt that there wasn't enough time to get all the procession through, because there was so much other things happening.
Yeah.
And just didn't have enough time, because we were given the procession, we were given them, say 2 minutes,
it's not long,
3 minutes tops, to get them on the stage, off the stage, at the next one coming on.
So are you suggesting that maybe the organisers were perhaps at fault?
Yes, I do think so.
Yeah.
Because I was supposed to be there to do the salsa.
Yeah.
And there wasn't even enough time to do that, because we didn't have enough time.
Here's a tip, guys, and I know this from having compared events. I'm comparing event next week, and I know what will happen. There will be a running order, there will be a schedule, there will be times that someone comes on at 8:32, they leave at 8:35, then the next. But those things, you might as well rip that up. Nothing ever stays to those fixed times, and if the weather's bad, well, then it slows it down even more.
Yeah, that's right. And the weather was on and off.
It's a shame, isn't it? Because it was nice. It was nice yesterday. It was nice yesterday. It's a shame. Listen, Al, did you have a good time?
I did have a good time. I had a great time.
What's your track? Right? If you're DJing, right, and it's just the vibe's not quite there. You've come on after someone who's rubbish, right?
Yeah.
And the vibe's not quite there. What's the track? What's the disc? What's the record that you slap down and you stand back knowing that you're going to get the whole crowd up? What's the banker you've got, DJ Al?
Happy.
By Pharrell?
Yes.
You get me up. You get me and my boys up. We'd be having a little boogie.
Definitely.
Al, it's not this. I've got to move on. It's really nice to talk to you, and I'm glad you had a good time.
Okay.
Thank you, mate. Ta-ta.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Chidley on the A509, there's a lane being blocked southbound at the A422 because of an accident, which is causing delays from the High Street towards Newport Pagnell. And on the motorways, the M40 into London has delays at junction 2 for Beaconsfield. Also, the M25 anti-clockwise has queues from junction 21 for the M1 to 15 for the M4. But clockwise on the M25, it's reopened at junction 24 for Potters Bar to 25 for Enfield after there was an accident earlier, but it's now been moved on out of the way, so things are starting to move much better through there. On the trains, Great Northern have delays through Gordon Hill because of a signalling problem, but there are no other major delays showing up on the train departure boards. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hang on. Wrong back. Hang on, Jane. Hold your horses, Jane.
I'm holding them.
Horses? How many horses have you got?
Oh, I forgot to bring in the horses today. I drove in.
Hold the reins.
Okay.
And go.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8:30. I'm Jane Killick. A man says his partner has made over 100 calls to the police about nuisance off-road bikes and car racing in Dunstable since October. Kelvin Allen contacted this programme because the situation has hardly improved. Police have launched an investigation over the death of a 17-year-old boy in Buckinghamshire. It's thought Toby Fairclough took an illegal drug before collapsing in playing fields in North Marsden. Figures obtained by the BBC show more than 500,000 gas and electricity customers were forced to have prepayment meters installed in their homes. The energy regulator Ofgem has launched an investigation. The weather dry with some pleasant sunny periods. On to sport and in cricket. Ben Stokes was named man of the match as England beat New Zealand by 124 runs to win the first test at Lord's. They bowled out the Black Caps for 220 runs in their second innings, with Stokes taking 3 for 38. In football, Norwich City are back in the Premier League. After a one-year absence, they beat Middlesbrough 2-0 in the Championship playoff final at Wembley. Wycombe Wanderers manager Gareth Ainsworth says they will bounce back from Saturday's League Two playoff defeat to Southend. The Chairboys lost 7-6 on penalties after drawing 1-1 after extra time. His manager Gareth Ainsworth.
You know, it's tough. One team has to lose, and it's a cruel way to do it. But we'll be back, and we've got a taste for this now. Don't worry, we'll be champing at the bit come August the 8th, and we're ready to go again.
Watford haven't commented on reports they're talking to Quique Sanchez-Flores about the head coach's job. They're said to have approached the former Atletico Madrid coach as talks with current boss Slaviša Jokanovic reportedly hit an impasse. John Mooney of Watford podcast From the Rookery End says the fans have faith in the owners.
They know that they need to do things quickly, because by the end of June, when the players start coming back, then they need their man in place. They need that sort of we don't want to have that delay, because we need to be ready for the first game of the Premier League, not the 5th game or the 10th game. So they are going to make the decision that's right for the football club.
Derby County are looking for a new manager after sacking Steve McLaren. Derby were top of the Championship at the beginning of March, but faded away and missed out on the playoffs. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next bulletin is at 9.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties.
Sorry, Jane. Poor Jane. She doesn't do breakfast with us very often, and she's just been confronted by shambles.
Tomfoolery.
Late for the... Jonathan was... And don't worry, I will tread carefully, but was showing me a video, which is why we were late coming out of the news. And then he said, you can't broadcast this. And then he couldn't stop it. And so he's stabbing the phone trying to stop it.
I got a new phone. I don't know how the blooming thing works.
You can't play this. Quick, we'll turn it off there. A great video, thank you. I appreciate that.
Funny, isn't it?
Don't see that very often these days.
It's funny.
That was filmed in this country. Wow. Wowzers. You're right. Did you have a nice bank holiday?
Yeah, I had a very nice bank holiday, thank you. Yes. Did a lot of gardening.
You're so old and boring.
Do you know, I spent, over the course of this weekend, I spent over £100 on plants.
Flipping heck,
I know.
Mate. Blimey.
I know.
Do you know what I was doing on Sunday?
What?
I had the house to myself, and I've got to write an article for some music magazine. They want 3,500 words. It's a lot of words. So I thought, I'm going to start it on Sunday. Got the house to myself, I'm going to start it, right? And all I did on Sunday was put stuff on eBay whilst listening to all of your consumer hours from the week on the iPlayer. I did 4 of your consumer hours on iPlayer.
Really?
But I made them because I only thought, all right, I'm only going to listen to one. So I was working backwards. I started on Friday.
Oh.
And I thought, I've got time for another one. Then I went to Thursday, and then I never listened to the consumer hours in reverse order.
No.
It spoiled the surprise.
Exactly.
For some of them.
You know what's coming next.
Yeah, I did. And then you'd hear someone setting up a story, and you go, I know how this one ends. Oh, this is disappointing. But thank you. You kept me thoroughly entertained on Sunday. Although you've distracted me from work. So shame on you.
Sorry.
Thank you, but shame on you.
Sorry.
What's in your show this morning?
Coming up on the Big Phone In this morning from 9, is punishing parents the best way to deal with truancy? A mum from Leighton Buzzard, whose child missed almost a third of school sessions, has been given a suspended jail sentence. Central Bedfordshire Council say they took the case to court as a last resort, and they hope this case sends the message about just how seriously the council takes absence from school. Well, from 9 this morning, I want to hear your views on this, and I want your experiences as well. Maybe you have a son or a daughter who did or does truant. Who's to blame for it? And do you think punishing parents is the best solution to it? Your calls, your stories, please, on 08459 455 555 on the Big Phone In from 9.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Oh, he does make me laugh. Not when he's on air. But in the privacy of a studio with the microphones turned off, he really does make me laugh. Coming up in the last half hour, Lockers, you can come in. We can come in. We're going to do your... Yeah, you get Raymondo. Don't worry about that. We're going to talk Eurovision. We're going to speak to Dealey about the cyclist. Does anybody feel sorry for the cyclist who knocked down that young kid? I feel sorry for him. He did something stupid and he was an idiot, but I feel sorry for him. You're right, Lockers.
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just...
you came down empty-handed, mate.
Just adjusting myself.
Oh, please. You came down... Tell us what happened on... what you did on Saturday.
I went to a Eurovision party with Raymondo. He was very hospitable, and so was his wife. We had a lovely buffet. I think I mentioned this previously, but I'll mention it again.
Yep.
We had coleslaw, potato salad.
I don't know if there's a bit of audio I'm supposed to have it, but I don't have it. If there is.
Yes.
Okay, sort that out.
So we had potato salad, coleslaw, orange segments.
Do you know what? I could live on potato salad alone. If my wife makes a bowl of potato salad, or we buy some from the shop, that will be gone in 2 minutes.
Well, it's a meal, isn't it?
It's a meal.
You got your potatoes, you got your mayonnaise, you got a bit of onion in there.
Oh,
I mean, you don't need anything else, do you? Really?
I love it. I love a good homemade potato salad.
We had pizza. We had toast as well.
Okay, it wasn't toast.
Yeah, well, it's bruschetta that was toasted.
Okay, you're so northern.
Yeah.
But you were there for the magic of
Eurovision.
Yes. Tell you what, let's have a listen to introduce this third piece, and then we're going to speak to Raymond.
Yeah. So this is the third piece where again we'd had a few more glasses of wine, me, Mary, and Leslie, and we found out that there was no chance of us winning. Ireland had given us 2 points, and this was our response. We were very angry.
Every other country can rely on their friends. Us, we obviously are Norman, no friends.
It does point to the fact, actually, now that in Europe we have no friends. And it's only going to get worse, because actually if we have that EU referendum, we should just give up on it now.
I think we shouldn't bother. Our entry, the song was appalling.
Well, yes, it wasn't very good, was it? It wasn't very good. We should give up. Well, we must have somebody who's going to wow them, like Cliff Richard.
Shall we bring back Brotherhood of Man next year?
Well, are they all dead now, then, or what?
I don't know. No, I think Brotherhood of Man are still going. They're still going, I'm sure. I saw them perform on that 60th anniversary thing. But anyway, Cliff Richard for Eurovision next year. Cliff Richard for Eurovision next year, Leslie?
Definitely not.
We could try it.
No, it's not for me.
No.
Really, really sorry. Not Cliff.
Who else is there? Who else is a singer? Oh dear. What happened to Darius? Darius was pop star to opera star, and I've got a photograph wrapped all around him. So I knocked him down coming out of the toilet in the O2.
She sounds
Darius
marvellous.
for Eurovision next year. Well, actually, what has happened to Darius? That is a good question.
What was that, ladies? Which one was that?
That was Mary. Mary was a star. She was lovely from start to finish. She was very funny. She did a better job than Graham Norton critiquing the songs.
She sounds like what's her face in Abigail's party. Whatever happened to Darius? Whatever happened to Darius? Well, listen, the host of that party was the very generous Raymond Marks. Raymond joins me now. Morning, Raymond.
Morning.
First of all, how was Matt Lockwood as a house guest? And be honest.
No, it was great, and the show kept going, and Matt was listening with us, but also interviewing our guests as well.
Was he annoying? Did he have any weird habits? Because I'll say this to you now, I wouldn't have let him in my house.
Well, he's nearly as tall as me, so I felt a bit resentful at that.
Let's talk about the Eurovision, Raymond. We were rubbish, weren't we?
Well, I personally don't accept that. I think Electro Velvet did a good job of the song that they'd put forward.
Yep. It was a good performance.
Wrong. The actions were good, but it wasn't the one that was going to win Europe, unfortunately. And you don't know until the night when people vote.
I mean, it got what? Was it 6 points in the end, Raymond?
5 points.
5, yeah.
But the thing is, totally unpredictable. Who'd have thought Germany would get 0 points? And who'd have thought Austria, who won last year with Conchita leaping about, would have come second from bottom?
Absolutely. And then what? Who do we have as well? France. They got 0 points.
Some big traditional ones, didn't they? But Sweden did a good job, and I just keep coming back to. Let's go back to Song for Europe, selected by public vote. The only thing I'd like to add is perhaps the public vote could include some of the Europeans, so we don't just have UK people voting in the
Oh, that's an interesting little twist, like going for gold or something, because that was full of Europeans.
Yes, but the final should be chosen by the UK.
Raymond, I love the BBC. And do you know what? I'm going through a bit of a really passionate phase for the BBC. The majority, I will pay a bigger TV licence. The majority of the BBC, and I've always thought this, is brilliant. But the nameless suit who hasn't got the cojones to come out and say, do you know what, guys? I chose that song. It was me. I thought it was good enough for Europe, and I was wrong. We'll never know who that person is. And that's wrong, isn't it? It shouldn't be chosen by a suit that's never made a TV programme, never made a record, never produced a radio show. It shouldn't be that person, should it?
Well, if we'd have come number one, maybe they would have done. But I think it's a situation where it's an absolute mystery, even to professionals I talk to in the business, as to how the BBC choose.
Raymond, I've got a little idea for a project, and I wonder if you'd like to be involved. Let me put this to you, OK? We've got is it a year till the next one?
Yep.
OK, so we've got a year to
to sort this out.
We've got a year to sort this out. We are, Catherine.
Yeah.
We are the BBC. We keep talking about this. We are the BBC.
We are the BBC, and we don't know who this mystery man is, but we're going to find out.
Raymond, would you be interested? I know you've written songs before, Stranger No Danger, and things like that. Would you be interested in being doing a little project with us, where you compose a song for Eurovision 2016, and we do our darndest, no promises, we do our darndest, we work our whatsits off to try and, at the very least, present your song to the person who's in charge and fight your corner to get it as the song for Europe 2016. Would you be up for that?
I would. Can I just say, I've been doing this for 4 years, and there were 4 songs, and Les Payne, my professional friend, said he thought Danger No Stranger was the best one.
Oh.
We've got that in the system, actually, haven't we?
Yeah.
I did put it in there, yeah, Danger No Stranger.
Can I just say, maybe looking forward is the way to go, and I've got a team of people with BBC experience who could take on setting up Song for Europe. That would be a good campaign. I think it'd be worth you doing.
Yeah, we're going. Well, listen, Raymond, if we pursue this, and we're going to have a little. I'm trying to find Danger No Stranger.
I've just put it in.
Have you got it? We'll have a bit of that. We'll play out with Danger No Stranger. Listen, stay in touch, Raymond. We just thought of this. Let me and Catherine have a little brainstorm, and Matt, we'll have a little brainstorm, and I can just see this being a nice campaign. I can't make any promises, but you'd be up for working with us, would you?
Yes, I certainly would. And I think the thing is, we mustn't criticise, as you say, the BBC is one of the finest institutions in the world. It's just in this particular case, for some reason, we're not doing the thing that has been proven to work in the past.
Raymond, when are you next meeting up with Matt Lockwood? Are you going to go out for lunch? Are you going to stay in and watch Die Hard? What's the plan, guys? What's happening?
As long as I can use your massage chair again, Raymond. That was very nice, wasn't it? Yes.
Can I just report, by the way, part of the fun of the party was we were scoring it ourselves.
Oh, yes.
And we got 2 out of the top 5, but we got 6 out of the top 10.
Hey, not bad.
So it wasn't too bad, but I think that German and Austria thing was so totally unpredictable.
Yeah. Raymond, listen, you're a really good sport, and I'm really grateful that you allowed us to come and record your party. Thank you. We will speak soon, mate.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Raymond.
Danger no stranger. Danger no stranger. Things in life can hide their pleasure. Level of excitement is the measure. What is danger? How can it be? Once a man, a stranger to me, to make all my dreams come true. Stranger, danger, a mix of the two. Danger, no stranger, stranger, no danger. Stranger with danger, it has its appeal. He can, he will be all to me. Danger, no stranger, stranger, no danger. No kiss, no worry, he just does not see. I know his love A danger might be, danger no stranger comes to me, knows just what he wants. Seduce a lover, a husband to be. Want him immediately. Why do I like it? Thrill of the chase, meeting, chatter, face to face. He is a man I can't ignore. Stranger with danger, I want it more.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's busy on the M40 towards London at Junction 2 for Beaconsfield, and the M25 has queues anti-clockwise between Junction 21 for the M1 and 16 for the M40. It's also looking slow at the Denham roundabout, the M40, the A412, also the Denham roundabout looking very busy towards the M25. It's looking the busiest. On the trains, the Great Northern have delays between Gordon Hill because of a signalling problem, and also the 9:17 service from Bedford to London St Pancras has been cancelled. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. I think there's something in this. We're going to have a little brainstorm, and you'll be hearing a lot more from Raymond Marks over the next 12 months on this show, I think. Why the hell not? Why the hell not? Right, it's... oh, blimey, look at the time. We're late. Hang on a second. Stay there, weather. Be with you in a second. It's 8:47. It is Tuesday, the 26th of May. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on Scott's tweet on BBC Three Counties Radio. A Dunstable man has told this programme how he's frustrated about the lack of police action over nuisance off-road bikes. I'm really sorry. I just can't. I'm sorry.
Beds, hearts and bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello, I'll go on with the weather then.
Yes, please. Okay. Sorry.
All right. All right, we've got some nice, bright and sunny spells developing really, really nicely across the three counties at the moment, particularly Bedfordshire's looking pretty gorgeous at the moment. A little bit cloudier towards Buckinghamshire, but that's because we've had some cloud, a little bit thicker, just pulling off towards the south, and that's just continuing to clear right now. Looking at a nice day today for the three counties. Good spells of sunshine coming through, staying dry. Yes, some fair weather cloud bubbling up this afternoon. Shouldn't spoil things, though. Top temperature of 18 Celsius, I think, probably at best, 64 in Fahrenheit. A cool night tonight. Gardeners, watch out for a touch of, temperatures getting well down to single figures. A bright start tomorrow, dry through the day. Another fairly pleasant day, 16 or 17 degrees. We've got some cloud thickening up, though, by the end of the day, and some light and patchy rain through tomorrow evening, overnight into Thursday. Thursday is a day of sunshine and some heavy blustery showers, but quite a lot of sunshine and dry weather mixed in, and cooler for Friday with some heavy thundery showers, but also some sunny spells.
Every weekday morning.
Coming up at 9 on the Big Phone In this morning, is it a good idea to make jobless teenagers work for their benefits? How would you like this country to stand up to President Putin? Are you surprised to see British people being blatantly racist?
The JVS Show.
I think we've got to get over this issue about racism doesn't exist. It has existed. It will probably carry on existing.
What I wanted to say is they've got this completely the wrong way around. That is also true. That is also true.
You will always get some, but they are such a minority.
I think the man's a buffoon.
Get him up, get him out of bed, give him a sense of purpose.
The JVS Show.
Do you think we have got to, as a country, start taking this issue more seriously?
Every weekday morning on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Oh, Justin, have you heard much of the show today?
Oh, do you know what? I said to you last week, we've got to get behind Raymondo because this guy could be a sensation. We need to get his songs out there because do you know what? They just make me feel good as a person.
The thing about Danger No Stranger, right?
Danger No Stranger.
Danger No Stranger. It's catchy.
Yeah.
You imagine that with a full orchestra. Flipping heck, that would be lovely.
A gold dress.
Yeah. Honestly, the full orchestra, the performance, you can imagine her just like turning her face to camera. Yeah. Powerful stuff.
Simon in Stevenage has got some ideas.
Morning, Simon.
Maybe we don't stay with the same singer is what he's suggesting, right? He says, one last final assault on Eurovision. Yeah. Let's stop messing around and put Lord Coe, Joe, Beckham and Prince Harry up to sing a song penned by Lloyd Webber. Victory guaranteed.
This is genuine, right? And Justin, well, you can get involved in this. We're going to have a little brainstorm throughout the week. We've got a year on this, okay, but I want to get moving on how we get. Someone's tweeted me that Guy Freeman is the BBC exec responsible for the UK Eurovision selection. How do we get? Should
I send him an email now? Say, morning, Guy.
Let's just
more
wait.
In a minute.
Let's just wait, because I do think that was an excellent song. I do think Raymond needs to compose something new. We need something new and fresh.
Do you know something else?
Yeah.
Guy is a visual man, right?
Oh yeah.
We should do a pop video.
Yeah. Okay, fine. We're going to... Raymond, honestly, we're going to get on this. We are going to do everything in our power to make sure this time next year we're all quaffing champagne and sending the escorts home as we celebrate Raymond Marx's victory in Eurovision.
I've got an idea.
Yes, mate.
This guy fella, OK?
No.
We need a meeting with him, correct?
Correct.
OK, so let's take the BBC Three Counties radio love wagon to his house every single morning until he agrees to a meeting with us. Yeah?
Or we could just go through the official channels.
We've got his email. It'll be something like guy.freeman@bbc.co.uk. That's how the BBC emails work. That's not a trade secret. That's how they work. It's first name dot second name @bbc.co. If there's more than one, just add a 1 or a 2 or a 3.
Probably got 1 million people this morning saying I can do better. Well,
no, he won't have. Do you really think there's that rich pickings?
Well, I think there'll be a lot of people out there, a bit like Raymondo, who think that they've got a song which could win. Let's go to his house. Let's say, come on, we're going to be here every morning until he give us a meeting.
Let's find out exactly how influential he is in the BBC, because I've got kids to feed.
Yes.
Justin, did you hear the carnival bit as well?
Yes, great banter.
Justin, we've asked you. It seems trivial going to this now, although it's probably the most serious story of the morning. The story in the papers last week: a young man knocked over a 3-year-old girl on his bicycle. Didn't just knock her over; she got stuck, I think, between the wheel and the pedals, and got dragged along.
Yeah,
he was on the pavement. It was his fault. Okay, no one's denying that. Been big news story. Just seen this coming up next. Big news story. I feel sorry for the guy.
Why do you feel sorry for him?
Because he was being hounded by the press last week trying to find out who he was.
Yeah.
He's been the subject of various quite cruel phone-ins on various radio stations. Let's find this man. Does he bring shame to cyclists? What would you see done to this man? I just think let the police sort it out. Let the girl's all right. The injuries were horrible, but she's all right. Let the police sort this out. We don't need to name him and put pictures of it. He's 23.
Yeah.
He goes for a job interview. The first thing people do now,
I get you.
When you go for a job, they Google you and they Facebook you. Well, what are they going to find? Is that idiot that callously knocked down a young girl? I feel sorry for him.
I've taken the video to the streets on my phone this morning, showing people that video that haven't seen it already.
Yeah.
You wanted to know, do people have sympathy? Some shocking audio coming up at the end here from a cyclist.
Yeah.
Do people have sympathy? Here's what people had to say.
No sympathy, I'm afraid. Yeah, what can I say? Guy shouldn't have been on the pavement. He's knocked a kid down, and he didn't stop.
Peter, you've already seen the video. You've just seen it again there on my mobile phone. He's been named and shamed. He's saying his life is now hell. Have you got any sympathy for this cyclist?
None at all. No, if you're riding along a pavement like that, then you should be paying attention. Yeah, cyclists, to me, are a pain with the job that I do. They come out everywhere and no respect for the road.
I mean, take away your stereotypes for a second, but let's just talk about this incident specifically. OK, he's made a mistake, but he's been named and shamed. Do you not feel any sympathy at all for this person?
No, he shouldn't be riding that quickly along a residential road like that and on the pavement.
I've got a cyclist now. Most cyclists don't want to talk to me because they think I'm going to be asking suspicious questions, which is a bit odd, but there you go. As a cyclist, have you ever knocked anybody over?
I haven't run anyone over, no.
What about friends of yours?
I know one person that's knocked someone over.
Did they stop? Be honest.
No, they didn't.
Why didn't they stop? You know this person. Why didn't they stop?
I don't know. They just felt bad for what they'd done. They didn't want to face up to it, I guess.
Roughly, how old was the person who got knocked over?
Probably about 10, but that was with a parent.
Wow, seriously? And they just got on their bike and left?
Yeah, just carried on.
That's shocking, isn't it?
Yeah.
So to go to this video, we've got a cyclist who's knocked over a young girl.
Yep.
And again, ridden off. This person has now been found, named and shamed publicly. Have you got any sympathy? You're a cyclist yourself. Have you got any sympathy for this person at all?
Not really. They should be more responsible riding.
Justin, thank you for that. Say hello to Albert.
Albert!
Morning, Dealey. Morning, Ian.
Oh, what a legend you are, Albert. What a legend in your own underpants you are.
Thank you, sir, and yourself.
What have you got for us, Albert?
I'm throwing my hat into the ring. Eurovision next year, my friend.
OK, what have you got?
Man. What have I got? Meat is a Cruel Mistress is the name of my tune.
OK. Do you want to sing us a bit?
Oh, it's a bit fresh off the press.
That's
but I tell you, I've got a whole load of tunes, cover versions, that I'm going to send to Ian in the next couple of weeks. You're going to love this.
OK.
Every time I go away, you take a piece of meat with you. You know the Paul Young song?
I do, unfortunately, yes.
I've got a cover of the ABBA song, Chicken Pizza, You and I Know. You know that one?
Yeah.
Class.
Yeah.
I
Anything
want to
else?
hold your ham.
Sing it then, go on.
You know it. Are you going to join in?
Well, you start and I might join in.
Dealey, why don't you sing it? Come on.
Go on, Dealey.
Albert first, come on. Albert first.
No, come on, Dealey.
Come
You've
on,
got the
Albert.
vocal cords, son.
Come on, you can do it, come on.
Oh, I want to hold your hand.
Thank you, Albert. Thank you, Albert.
Wow. To be fair, I think, and forget the local connection, I think, to be fair, Albert was probably a little bit better than Electro Velvet at the weekend.
I watched the Electro Velvet performance. I was showing it to the boys. I was trying to explain to them what the Eurovision Song Contest was the next day. And, they liked it. It was all, the performance was great.
She had a light-up dress on.
Yeah, the performance was great. The song was not, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. It's almost like at the moment with the Eurovision, it's almost like we know we can't win, so we'll just put a song in and just see what happens. Go to Raimondo, let him create something spectacular, and you know what? Let's win it. Let's take the crown back.
Why not? Everyone's going, we should pull out, we should give up. No. Au contraire. We should go in fighting.
We go in harder.
Let's go in, boozed up, tooled up, and let's go and kick some Eurovision butt next year. Are you with me?
Yes.
You with me, guys in there?
I'm with you.
I tell you what, this is the last time you're ever going to... Thank you, Justin. This is the last time you're ever going to hear this. This was the British entry into Eurovision. This is Electro Velvet.
Bird's eye potato waffles, waffly versatile. They go with eggs, beans, chips, fish fingers. Oh, fish fingers. Bird's eye potato waffles, waffly versatile.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M40 towards London at junction 2 for Beaconsfield, it's looking really busy. It's also slow on the M25 anti-clockwise between junction 21 for the M1 and 16 for the M40. And on the A41 North Western Avenue, that's slow too from St Albans Road around the Dome roundabout. In Palmer's Green on the North Circular Road, that's busy from the Great Cambridge Road towards Green Lanes at the Clock House interchange. And on the trains, Great Northern are reporting delays through Gordon Hill because of a signalling problem. And the 9:17 train from Bedford to London St Pancras has been cancelled. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Alice, Dealey, Lockers. Catherine will have a word. Oh, I enjoyed myself far more than... I might have to pay the BBC some money back for today's show. I can't get paid for having that much fun. That's it. That's your lot. Go and download the podcast. Make sure you stay tuned to Three Counties Radio. JVS is up next. Until tomorrow at 6 from us. Ta-ta.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Ian. Good morning. Welcome to the JVS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon-Smith. It's Tuesday. It's 9 o'clock, and on today's big phone-in, is punishing parents the best way to deal with truancy? A mum from Leighton Buzzard, whose child missed almost a third of school lessons, has been given a suspended jail sentence. Central Bedfordshire Council said they took the case to court as a last resort after offers of help and support were rejected by the woman in question. And they hope this case sends the message about just how seriously the council takes the issue of pupils being absent from school. This morning I want to hear your reaction to this. Do you think punishing parents is the best way to deal with truancy? Call me with your thoughts on 08459 455 555.
This is the JVS Show
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
I'll take your call in just a second, but first, let's get the latest BBC News. It's 9 o'clock. Here's Jane Killick.
Good morning. The M1 in Bedfordshire is safer following the introduction of variable speed cameras, according to police. They claim there are fewer crashes. 20,000 motorists have been caught on the cameras so far. Chief Superintendent Simon Hawkins from Bedfordshire Police says he has no sympathy for drivers who speed.
I read a statement from a 16-year-old girl who talks about how being paralysed and her neck down at 2 o'clock in the morning, she's on her own and she can't scratch her nose, and that was a direct result of another person speeding and not being able to stop and hitting her parents' car. So, no, speeding, is a serious matter, and we enforce it because we know it prevents deaths and it prevents injuries.
And you can hear the full interview with Chief Superintendent Simon Hawkins with JVS this morning. Police have launched an investigation over the death of a 17-year-old boy in Buckinghamshire. It's thought Toby Fairclough took an illegal drug before collapsing in playing fields in North Marsden. Craig Lewis reports.
Detectives are treating Toby Fairclough's death as unexplained, but they think he took what he believed to be ecstasy late on Friday night or early Saturday morning. He was taken to hospital on Saturday lunchtime after suffering what police call a medical condition, but died. A 17-year-old boy from Buckingham has been arrested